And you're listening to Nothing But Niners.
This is Charles Haley. You're listening to Nothing But Niners.
So now they've got to start from deep in their end of the field, and Garrison Hurst takes advantage of it. He takes the handoff, swings to his right, gets to the 20. He's at the 30, needs to cut in. He comes back up the right sideline, breaks the third tackle, comes down to the 30. He's down to the 20. He's down to the 10. He's down to the 5. He's down to the end zone. Touchdown! Touchdown! 49ers! 96-yard run from scrimmage. Garrison Hurst.
Young, back to throw. In trouble, he's going to be sacked. No, gets away. He runs, gets away again, goes to the 40, gets away again, to the 35, cuts back at the 30, to the 20, the 50, the 10. He died. Touchdown, 49ers. 11's 27-yard line. 49ers into the backfield. Gets on third down. He'll take it himself for a first down. And more. Alex Smith is in. Touchdown. His left hip. Third down. Alex takes the snap. Alex looking down in the post. And it's good. Touchdown. Touchdown 49.
But it's second down. Ryan takes the snap, goes to slant to the left side. It's Michael, intercepted! The 49ers pick it, and Navarro Bowman is redemption! Navarro Bowman running it all the way for a touchdown! No greater redemption!
Kaepernick shoots it. Hold everybody. Colin Kaepernick. What a game. Touchdown.
Yeah. Boom! What's going on, faithfuls? The Nothing But Niners crew is back, and we're here to bring you guys the first 53. The team made a bunch of cuts, some surprise ones, some that we knew were coming, and everything else in between. And we're going to break that all down here for you guys tonight. Before we do, I'm going to run through these formalities. If this is your first time here, please click that like and subscribe button. Also, turn on your notifications. We brought a breaking news video today. Honestly, I thought we were going to be doing more, but it turns out I was wrong. What do you know? But make sure you have those notifications turned on so you know exactly when we're going live. They'll let you know so that way you don't miss any breaking news videos. Give us a follow on some of our social media platforms. We have Twitter and Snapchat. Those handles are Nothing But Niners. That's Nothing But 9 ERS. And then we have Facebook, Instagram, as well as Twitch. And that is Nothing But Niners, spelled all the way out. Questions, comments, concerns can all be sent to NB9ERS at nothingbutniners.com. I'm your guy, 49ers Mike _NFL. To my left is my guy, Nick. He is 49er Faithful 365. Howdy. Below me is my guy, Brian. He is Stater _Niner. And down there on that side in the corner, he is Wayne Breezy bringing up the rear. Fellas, what's going on? How y'all feeling tonight?
I feel cut.
I feel waved.
You want to go with the release?
All right,
Okay,
Brian,
then
we got waved. You got to do something.
I guess I'll just go injured reserve then. How about that?
Oh, you could have been kept. You could have been kept. I felt secure. I was looking for somebody to feel secure. We were so close. All right, it's
I
okay.
would have been if they'd have made some different chances or different cuts. Then might have felt better about this roster.
Oh, well, we're gonna get to that. We're gonna talk about the surprises, the ones that you knew were coming, and everything in between. But guys, let's start with the news first. This happened earlier in the day. The 49ers did make a trade. It was reported very early this morning by Tom Pelissero. He said that the 49ers are sending linebacker Jonas Griffith along with a 2022 7th round pick to the Broncos. And in return, they got a 2022 6th round pick, so up a round, and a 2023 7th round pick. I did not hear that anything was conditional. Nothing was waiving. Nothing was whatever. That was pretty cut and dry. So we send a player in a 7th and receive a 6th in the next year's 7th. Did we win that trade?
2 years.
Absolutely, we won that trade.
Yeah.
We won that trade hands down. We won that trade. You get a guy undrafted. You big him up. You feed him. You stuff him. You make him good, and then all of a sudden you flip him and get 2 picks out of it. You win that trade, dog.
I like
you only really getting 1 pick, but yeah, I understand what you're saying.
You know what I mean.
I'd have rather had him on the roster, but it is what it is.
I agree. I don't disagree with you. I had him on my 53, unfortunately.
Well, let's start there then. Was that a surprise cut for you guys, huh? Like,
I mean, he was having an amazing camp, right? And so I kept saying, like, you didn't see Aziz much due to injury. You didn't see certain guys. So I was like, yo, and you did see Hilliard, the rookie, and I was like, oh, this guy is balling. Now he's getting turnovers, he's breaking up passes, he's good in coverage, and I'm like, yo, he's on the right spot, in the right system. Next thing you know, they were doing all that so they could trade this guy. Well, I think what they did was he upgraded his value, and so I think that's how they were able to get picks. They might have tried to trade other guys like Marcel Harris, and teams might not have wanted him. They might have said, hey, I seen this guy in camp. He looked really good. What do you want for him? So for those out there that are like, oh, he wasn't going to make the squad anyway, I beg to differ. I think he was going to make the squad, but they got value for him. Therefore, they traded him.
Right. And we haven't seen much of Flanagan either. I mean,
no, we haven't.
I was expecting that he wasn't going to make the cut also, but here we are.
Now the team has some familiarity with Flanagan, though, right?
Right. He
sure
always appears to be there for some reason.
I'm just saying, while we saw him on the field, he wasn't overly utilized, and he didn't really make a name for himself this offseason. He's riding the coattails of last season as far as I'm concerned.
All right. Now, Nick, were you surprised by the trade that we pulled off in dealing Jonas Griffith for those couple of picks?
Yeah, I mean, I was surprised definitely because I had him making the 53, as we all know. But then, just like I said in the breaking news thing, I think the Niners kind of won this because you have a good linebacking depth already right now. Demetrius Flanagan-Foles knows this defensive scheme as well. Plus, he's a special teamer. And when you can turn an undrafted guy into any type of compensation, that's a win for your team, right? Now, we can sit here and say that the team was going to keep him, but we don't know. He literally could have been one of the cuts. And instead of cutting him and somebody picking him up on the waiver wire, somebody was like, we're not going to wait around to see if they cut him. We want him. We'll give up compensation for him. You take it, right? In any sense, if you're ever going to get rid of somebody, you take it and get whatever you can for it, especially an undrafted guy. So you're getting, not even a late seventh round pick, right? You're getting a 6th round pick, which is you can utilize in all different ways. So I was surprised to see him traded because I did think that he was going to make this team because he's been balling out. But then again, I understand the business side of it, and I actually like it because I think it benefits the 49ers in giving them some more draft capital for an undrafted guy. So
anytime that you can trade depth that was undrafted and get some kind of compensation for it and not affect your starting rotation, that's why I said depth. I think you got to do it, and I think it equals a win. I really do. Let's read this contribution, and then we can get to the show. This is a very generous contribution here from Picture Perfect 49ers. He says, NBN, thank you for the follow on social media. I seriously appreciate your content and the enthusiasm you bring always. Prayers to New Orleans. Shout out to Hasty for making the roster. Now, that was that last part. We thank you for the contribution. What's the only shout out to Hasty? No, I'm kidding. I know you only got a certain amount of characters. Thank you very much for the contribution. We do appreciate it, man. Let me see. How can we? Nope. It doesn't matter if we do it like that or like that.
Yeah, it's too big. I tried that already.
All right, so then let's do this then. We're gonna pop up the graphic here of the 53-man roster, and let's talk about it. And what we'll do is here. Let's move the contribution really quick. Let me get it on my screen first before it goes away. All right, and that way we can pop it back up there because that one deserves a little bit more shine. All right, so let's do. Here's the final 53-man roster. I don't know if you guys can see that. You may have to zoom in on it. Go full screen if you're watching on your computer or on your television. You can see it just fine, I promise you. We're going to start from the bottom and work our way up with just reading it. So this is what we'll do. Let's all participate here. We'll all just alternate groups. So we'll go Brian, Breezy, me, and then Nick, and we'll go all the way through just reading the people who made the final list.
So what position group you want to start with?
You start with special teams. We're going to start from the bottom and work our way up.
All right. So, no surprises there. Special teams, Robbie Gould, Mitch Wish, and Tabor Pepper.
All right, safeties. We got Jimmy Ward, Jaquaski Tart. It's good to have that tandem back there starting off the season. Tavon Wilson and the rookie Talanoa Hufanga.
All right, in the corners, we got K'Wan Williams, Jason Verrett, Emmanuel Mosley, Devonta Harris, Ambry Thomas, Diamador Lenore.
Linebackers, All-Pro Fred Warner, Dre Greenlaw, Aziz Al-Shaair, Demetrius Flanagan-Foles, and Marcel Harris.
In the ridiculously overkept defensive line here, starting off with Nick Bosa, Javon Kinlaw, DJ Jones, Eric Armstead, D. Ford, Samson Ebukam, Maurice Hurst, Zach Kerr, Kentavious Street, Arden Key, and Kevin Gibbons.
All right, I'm going down to the offensive line, the other side of the trenches. Let's see, we got Trent Williams, Lakin Tomlinson, Alex Mack, Daniel Brunskill, Mike McGlinchey. Those are your starting 5. Tom Compton, Aaron Banks, and Jalen Moore, the 2 rookies. Shout out to the rookies, man.
All right, wide receivers here. I get it. Okay, the gold is projected starters. It says it at the top. Okay, wide receivers: Brandon Ayuk, Deebo Samuel, Mohamed Sanu, Trent Sherfield, Jawan Jennings, and Jalen Hurd.
Tight ends: George Kittle, Ross Dwelly, Charlie Warner.
In the backfield, we got Kyle Juszczyk, Raheem Mostert, Michael Hasty, Trey Sermon, and Elijah Mitchell, both rookies making the squad.
In the quarterbacks, we got projected starter Trey Lance and the backup Jimmy Garoppolo.
You can't read gold and white very well.
I can read. I can read.
Mike did the same thing. He said Brandon Ayuk first. He said Brandon Ayuk, Deebo Samuel.
Did I for real?
Yeah.
And well, at least mine were gold. Wayne just went off killing. I'm making my own roster. So. All right, guys. Let's try to keep this fun and interesting and organized. We're going to try. Let's talk about that defensive line. I think we have to start at the defensive line. So let's try to do the highlight game here. Who wants to go first on the defensive line?
I'll go.
All right, so we're gonna do the highlight game. We're gonna put Nick up there again. If you want to see it, right there, it's a lot of people there. Nick, what are your thoughts on everybody in the world making this team if you played a defensive line position? There were two cuts from the position. We know that, right? There were 2.
Yeah, Darian Daniels and
Yarbaugh.
Yarbaugh, yes.
Yeah. Which Yarbrough may get picked up on another team. But plus Maurice Hurst is going to go to the IR probably. So it'll be technically 10 instead of 11, depending on who they bring back. I like this. I had 9 guys before we did our 53-man projection with the other great podcasters out there. But then when John Chapman was talking about, he thought that they would keep all 11. And at first I'm like, where are you going to cut to make that, right? But really, they didn't really have to cut anywhere. I mean, they cut a tight end spot, right? So which, do you have a guy really there? You weren't sold on Jordan Matthews. But this defensive line, look, we can go back to the Harbaugh days where John Harbaugh tried to
Jim.
Yeah, John. I meant Jim. Jim Harbaugh meant to build this line from the trenches, right? Obviously, Justin Smith, Alden Smith, they tried to do that. So John Lynch came in here and Kyle Shanahan, and they said, you need a really good quarterback to succeed in this league, and you need a guy who goes after and gets the quarterback. You need guys that get after the quarterback. And they've stuck with that. They haven't put a whole lot of emphasis in getting corners and things like that. They've been building this defensive line. If you go back to 2019, what was our strength of this team? It was the depth on the defensive line. And to be honest with you, the depth on this defensive line is better than the depth that we had at that time. When you add guys like Arden Key, Zach Kerr, those type of guys, you got DJ Jones back healthy. Those types of guys that are depth pieces are bigger and better than what was the year before. Then you're obviously getting Nick Bosa back, D Ford back. You got DJ Jones, Eric Armstead, Arden Key, Maurice Hurst once he's healthy. Then you get Jordan Willis back. So I actually kind of like keeping the 11 because you got fresh legs, and we have a couple guys coming off of injury, D Ford, Nick Bosa. You got a new guy in here, Samson Ebukam. So those guys can get split up reps and ease their way back in, right, with this depth. So I like it.
All right. Anybody else want to share their thoughts on this? This is a deep, deep line, and I would like to know if you guys have any other thoughts. Brian, you didn't seem to – cheers, buddy. You didn't seem to like the depth that we got there.
No, I just think it was that there was other things that we could have done with those spaces. But, it is what it is what the team wanted to do. I understand the Hurst, dilemma. You want to hang on to the guy so you can stick him on the IR, the short-term IR. My question to you guys is going to be, is if that's the plan, who do you bring back? Or do you think they go get somebody from another team?
I think they bring back one of the guys that they got. Right now, it's up in
of the cuts. Who would you like to see back, Wayne?
I think they bring back a guy that's kind of like familiar with the team, somebody that they feel that's serviceable, and that's going to be like pennies, like a Dante Johnson or Jordan Matthews. Like those are two guys that the 49ers kind of like they creep around the 49ers organization like all season long. And at some point they're on this team. Who would I like to see back? Honestly, I definitely I think HaHa should be back on this squad.
Absolutely.
I think HaHa brings a level of turnoverism to the defense. I mean, he's a ball hawk. That's it. That's all he does. That's what he does well, right? And so when quarterbacks make mistakes out there, and if you got a defensive line like the defensive line we have with all the depth you guys are talking about, I'm not saying Tart's not going to be out there, but Tart is another person that you don't know is going to give you the healthiest season, and so you're going to bank on Tavon Wilson, some guy who's new to the system, but doesn't have that ball hawking capability, but he can play both free and strong. So I do like that. He's versatile. But I definitely thought if you gave Dix a little bit more time, he would have been, I think, the top safety. Like if he was brought in over Tony Jefferson, like from the jump, I think he would have made it out and he would be on this squad. So I think they try to get Dix back in here with that spot because technically they're going to have 10 defensive linemen because we already know that oh my God, you just said his name. He's going to Hurst is going to the
Hurst and Jordan.
IR.
Or do they just leave it? Well, they can't. They're going to have to bring somebody up for when Jordan Willis comes back, right? I was just going to say that.
Well, that's week 6. And, Nick, they got to bring back – they got to cut somebody if they bring back – what's his name off the pup list. This is going to be so cool, right?
Off the
running back.
I like your idea of HaHa coming back because as much as I like having Tart back, I'm not real sure about his turf toe healing up well, and I think we're going to see him back off the squad or into the IR sooner rather than later. So I think bringing back HaHa gives us some security there.
And I like the fact that he's just a vet. You know what I'm saying? And so where miscommunication happens the mostly in our backfield and in the defensive backs is when there are a bunch of young guys back there. And I'm not saying Hufanga is not going to be able to do that, but when it comes down to people, throwing coverages at him, throwing different types of routes and stuff, and him not being able to pick up certain things, man, if you think that Hufanga can pick up, disguises and things coming at him quicker than Trey Lance can pick up the blitzes and all that stuff coming out. It's a rookie curve, right? So it's going to take time for them to get out there. And so I like having another savvy vet. But my only issues with our safety tandem is I love that Tart is back. I know that he's healthy. But, hey, you got to have some insurance for him. And I don't know if Tavon Wilson is that type of insurance. I don't think Jared Maiden. I know a lot of people like Jared Maiden, but Jared Maiden got a lot of work to grow. He's still got a lot of room to improve. So who would you rather have? A young guy that don't know shit or a veteran that knows shit? That's kind of like what you got to ask yourself. And I think, well, they're both cut, but if I had to pick one of those guys to return, it would be the vet.
All right. I mean, so let me give you my thoughts on the defensive line, then who I think they bring back. The defensive line, I don't think there was a real surprise for me on there. Can I see this again? I mean, because we liked all of these guys. We knew it was going to be a tough place to make some cuts from. Arden Key. Is there somebody under Key that the thing is cutting off? No?
I think he's
all right.
the 11th.
So, I mean, no, Arden Key was the only person that I didn't think was going to make it. We knew Hurst was going to make it and then get stashed.
Kevin Givens is underneath there.
Oh, Kevin Givens, I didn't have making it, and that was only a numbers game.
Right.
That was more of a numbers thing. I just didn't think we were going to keep that many. I didn't think we were going to keep that many defensive linemen. But I will say this, man, John Lynch, he finally told the truth.
Yeah.
He said
he would like to have all those guys back.
We were getting calls for our defensive linemen. We were like, no, we are not trading any of our linemen. I'll be damned if he didn't keep all but two. He let go of Yarborough, and that's because people don't know his name. You know what I'm saying? And then, like, I mean, Darian Daniels, he might get picked up. Yarborough might
practice squad.
He's going to the practice squad, dog.
Yeah, so it's like, you know,
so will Yarborough. Like they're gonna make the practice squad.
But that's if they don't get picked up by somebody. Is what I'm saying. Like somebody
can
can add
picked up
them to
last year. I don't think they'll get picked up this year.
So
I think our chances with those guys making the practice squad is better than them getting picked up by a different team.
Yeah. I mean, but he really meant what he said, and I was calling this bluff. Like he was like, "Oh, well, we really want to keep them all, you know," and so we're getting trade offers, and we're not looking to trade anybody. And I'm like, "Yeah, all right, if you get the right call, they gone." He was like, "All right, Mike, they staying right here," and he kept all these defensive linemen. I thought that was pretty dope, and that's gotta say something. That's gotta change. It's kind of the opposite of the wide receiver room, right? Like we have wide receivers who made the roster because nobody earned it, and we got defensive linemen who made it because they all earned it. So I thought that was pretty cool to see. I like that. What group do you guys want to do next? Let's go quad box here. What group do you guys want to do next?
Well, we did the defensive line. Let's do the offensive line.
I like it. All right. So the offensive line, we read the names already here. Trent Williams, Lincoln Tomlinson, Alex Mack, Daniel Brunskill, Mike McGlinchey, Tom Compton, Aaron Banks, and Jalen Moore.
The only question mark I have is Tom Compton. I think we can all probably agree on that. So we're probably going to be stuck on this Tom Compton and scratching our head and trying to figure out. I know, Mike, you asked did we watch the last game Tom Compton played, so I'm sure you're going to be pro Tom Compton because you probably found 1 out of 65 plays where he did something good. But I mean, I'm scratching my head. You didn't even hear his name. If you did hear his name and this training camp, he was getting his ass beat. And so I'm just trying to figure out like how he was better than some of the other guys, or is he on this team because he's a savvy vet and we feel like we can stash some like a Colton McKivitz on the practice squad? Like, you know what I'm saying? So like, I don't know, man. It's weird.
I hope McKivitz makes it back to the practice squad because, it's funny that we talk about, the players that are favorites to this organization, to the Kyle. And, you got a player who they consider, their recruiting staff calls a golden domer, and we give him a year and he's gone. We just give up. He's out of here, and whether or not we're just rolling the dice to see if he can make it to the practice squad or not, we don't know. But it was just strange to see them give up on him and keep Tom Compton. That just boggled my mind.
I'm going to go the opposite way of you guys. I mean, I understand Colton McKivitz is, he's a 5th-round draft pick, and it was a pick that we got from the Matt Breida trade. But I'm going to go with Jake Brendel. Like, you got rid of Jake Brendel for Tom Compton, and you have no center backup. I understand Brunskill can play there, but we also know what happens with Brunskill playing at center, where we know that this team, this offense is predicated off of the offensive center. We heard Trent Williams last year kind of call it out, kind of throwing people under the bus. And then we heard how important this center is in recognizing coverages and stuff like that and calling out the coverages and stuff for the offensive line. Here's a guy that I understand he's been on a couple teams, but he's definitely played well in the preseason, I thought personally watching him play, he was sealing off good. He was getting to the second level good. He had that one low snap. I don't know how he was in practice, but Jake Brendel was a guy that I thought should have made this team. And you go and you get a guy in Tom Compton. Now you have to, instead of changing just one position, if something happened to Alex Mack, you're moving Brunskill, then you're moving somebody else in now. So you're changing two positions instead of just changing one position where you could throw Jake Brendel in there. And he could also, I don't know how old he is. I'd have to look it up. But he's also somebody that could have learned under Alex Mack and probably could have been a couple more years after Alex Mack was here. So at that position. So that's the most surprising thing to me on that offensive line. I understand giving up on Colton McKivitz, but I thought Jake Brendel should have really made this team.
Yeah, I had him on my 53. I think that you're absolutely right. But I think that the team might see that Brendel is a player they could probably get back on the practice squad. So he's going to be able to learn underneath Mac for this year anyway.
Yeah, he's 28 years old. So
yeah, so I mean, he's still got 2, possibly 3 good years in him. You give him one more year under Mac, and then get another 2 years in. That helps us out on the offensive line. But that's just my opinion on it. I just thought he played really well. I thought center, instead of moving Brunskill, just let him focus on guard instead of moving him to center if something were to happen, and go from there.
So I okay, Mike, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. You got it, bro.
No, I just wanted to I think a little bit differently on the Brunskill. I just think Brunskill is like the ultimate utility piece, right? So he can play center, he can play tackle, he can play guard. And if we know our Kyle Shanahan like we know our Kyle Shanahan, he wants versatile players. I get your logic and your theory behind it, but we know if Brunskill can be serviceable at multiple positions, he's going to get that spot. And so maybe that's why they felt they can cut a Brendel, and hopefully he makes it to the practice squad, like you just said. As far as Compton, like I still don't understand that he's a guard, and I feel like McKivitz was the better guard. So I just don't understand that. Like, and Dakota Shepley, I would have took Shepley over Tom Compton, me personally. That's what I had on my thing anyway.
Well, if you look at the list of the players who were actually cut, right, to make room for him here, this is a list of the people who were cut. If you look at the offensive linemen, Kelemete, sorry if I'm butchering his name.
Kelemete, yeah.
Right. Gutierrez, he was a free roster spot, and they were like, yeah, nah. Like
he'll still be free. He'll go directly to our IR and not, or to our practice squad and not count.
Right. Shipley and Colton McKivitz. Where? Oh, right there. Jake Brendel. I don't know, man. I did want Jake here. I'll be honest with you guys. Jake was the one that I wanted here. And obviously I had him making my roster and all that, right? But right after I saw that Colton McKivitz, not Colton McKivitz, Tom Compton made the team, I went back and I looked at the last preseason game, and he had a good game. I just don't know how that was enough. I can't say that Colton McKivitz had a bad game or preseason because I wasn't paying attention to him like that. I'll be completely honest with you. I was not paying attention to him like that. I do know that there were a lot of pressures coming at our quarterbacks once, the first 2 drives of every game were over. There was a ton of pressure. And so if you go back and you look and you see that, there's not a lot coming from Compton's side, then maybe that's what they felt. Maybe they said, enough with this holding on to all of our draft picks for too long, and it's time to move on. I don't know. I guess we'll have to see what happens. That was definitely
is Brendel a guy that you could bring back when Mo Hurst goes on the IR?
He should be. Why not?
Is he that type of a vet to where he doesn't have to? Was he released or?
Yeah, he's released.
Yeah, so you can possibly bring him back.
Well, yeah, because he's a free agent. He doesn't have to clear waivers.
Right.
He's technically a free agent.
Yeah, this is only his 5th year in the league anyway, and it depends on how much playing time he's had. He might not even be considered that kind of veteran. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I mean he's played in the league for like 6 or 7 years.
Right. He's got enough accrued seasons that he was just released. He wasn't waived.
Yeah. So, but my question to you is I understand the Clinton Dix theory, where I thought that should have made this roster as well. But what's more important, the safety depth or offensive line depth? If you had to choose between one or the other.
I would say O-line depth is more important, right? I would say depth in the trenches is most important, but our safeties seem to get nagging injuries throughout the season, and so that can become a very detrimental piece to the middle of the field when playing defense. You know what I'm saying? So if Tart is out and we don't have good safeties back there to back him up, that could be an issue, in my opinion. So, but I do agree. I believe that the offensive line depth is more important, but it just seems like for our 49ers team, we might get chewed up in the middle of the field if our safeties aren't ready to go at 100%. And so we can probably plug and play some guys. I mean, Jalen Moore can play all over the offensive line as well. He can play tackle and guard. And then hopefully you get Aaron Banks back in the next couple of weeks, right? Who's going to be your guard. So I feel like we have the pieces there. But I think that the offensive line is probably most important.
I'm gonna say safety only because you have, my bad, Wayne. I should have put you up there while you were speaking. I'm sorry, man. Only because you have a switchblade that plays every position on the team, right? You have the young rookie who looked more than capable as a tackle. So those two guys right there basically are reinforcements for your entire offensive line. Just two people. So having 3 or 4 or 5 extra guys on the offensive line, that's a luxury. I would have rather had the safety. If that's what your question is, if I'm reading this right, would you prefer the safety depth, like one extra safety guy or one extra? Because they did keep 5 safeties, right? And is that why you're asking this question?
Only 4.
4.
What? Oh, yeah.
But Mike, the difference there is, before you keep going, is with that new rule, you can bring up an additional offensive lineman each week.
You can bring up whoever you want, but if he's not getting on the field, what difference does it make? Where you're more likely to have packages, including 2 or 3 safeties at a time. You know what I'm saying? I just think that I'm saying I'm with you. I think I'm with you. I think we're on the same side. I would have rather have seen Clinton Dix here instead, because I just feel like the safety position, one, Tart's not going to make it all season. Come on. He's not going to make it all season. And then you're going to a 32-year-old in Wilson, or a rookie who is known to over pursue and struggle in coverage. I mean, the options there are not as good as the depth on the offensive line.
I just think it's a worry because obviously, I think it's just so much of a worry for me because I know the struggles this offensive line goes through without an actual center. And we've seen that. And I think that's kind of where I'm at. And then you go into the age of Alex Mack, and it's just something were to happen, you're changing 2 positions instead of 1. And centers are not easy to come by. Like, they're not easy to come by. You find a half decent center, they're harder to find. It's just like a tackle, right? They're harder to find. So that's where I kind of get nervous because of how predicated this offense is, reliant on the center in this offensive scheme. So that's kind of where it just bothers me. And I think that position, even if it's a backup, with the new rules being allowed to bring up an additional lineman that active on game days, just in case something goes down, you don't have to make that switch. So that's kind of where I'm at, because I do like Clinton Dix, and I think he should be on this team. But I just think that in our particular situation, to where we have a shit ton of guards and tackles, backups, we don't have a backup center. I understand Brunskill can play all over the place, but let's be honest with ourselves. He completely fucking blew at center. Like, let's be honest with ourselves. So that's where it scares me.
Yeah, I mean, maybe we're changing things up. You know, we got a quarterback that can read defenses now, so maybe we're changing things up, and we don't necessarily need to rely on the center calling forward. I don't know.
No, because the center calls out the coverages for the offensive line. The quarterback calls out the coverages for everything else.
No, I get it, but I'm just.
It's not like where we changing things up where Trey Lance is going to be calling the coverages. Like, he doesn't call the coverages for the offensive line. The center does. The quarterback's not going to be doing that, so that has nothing to do with it.
Yeah, but the quarterback does call protections.
He calls protections, but not blocking protections.
He does slide his protections. The quarterback can call the protections to slide over to the right or to the left. What are you talking about? Quarterbacks call it all the time. It's not like they say it out loud, but they'll have a signal. They'll slap the ass. They'll do something that's going to get, you know what I'm saying? Like, they have a way to call out the protections.
The other thing is also, we were talking about the best candidate for when Hurst goes to IR. Ta-da! Insert Jake. He can come right back.
That's what I'm asking. That's what I was asking. What's more important, the safety position or the center position?
Right. So you got a guy that's been. Oh, that's why you. Okay, I get why you're asking. My bad.
Yeah, because I was saying that I would bring back Jake Brendel, but what's more important is it the center, offensive line depth, or is it the safety position?
Well, you said offensive line depth at first, and now you're alluding to the center. So
right, that's what I'm saying, because I was talking about bringing Jake Brendel back. So I was asking, like, what's more important, bringing back an offensive lineman or a safety? So I'm sorry if you guys got confused on that. I was just meaning, like, because I was talking about Jake Brendel.
Gotcha. All right, let's get to these contributions here, because I don't want to lose the other one. There was a $10 one somewhere, and there it is. I got it. Joey says, "What's up, NBN? What do y'all think about only 2 quarterbacks? You have to bring someone in to be protected on the practice squad, right?" Joey, I promise you we will get to that. I promise you we're going to get to the quarterback question here. And DM 49ers with a $10 contribution. Thank you very much. He says, playing 2 QBs like Sunday is the quickest way for a coach to head over to the EDD office. Anybody know what EDD is?
Probably the
unemployment office. I don't know.
I think that's what he's alluding to. That's what he's meaning, though.
Yeah.
The quickest way to get fired. I think that's what he's saying. I don't know. I don't want to put words in his mouth and then y'all trash me on Twitter.
Yeah, I think it's the unemployment office.
All right.
Okay. I don't agree with that.
I respect his opinion. I mean, it is a little tricky thing. It doesn't usually work out, and teams don't usually do it. It is a huge gamble, and you don't know how. I mean, here's the thing. I don't think Jed cares. I think Jed completely trusts Kyle and John, so he's just like, "Hey, go do what you think is best."
Yeah.
Well, we know that from right now. We know that because of the fact that he kept a $24.5 million quarterback on this roster, and said that he's willing to pay. And he said before that, he's even came out and said that he has nothing to do with football operations. That's all Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch.
I'm so glad he's doing this. He's letting the football guys take care of the football stuff, and he's handling the business.
He's just writing the checks. That's pretty much it,
He's been doing it that way.
Yeah.
I love it. I absolutely love it. All right. Who clicked that? Because I was
Brian probably.
Tony sent himself to the EDD office.
Speaking of the Don Burr that's in here for the Detroit Lions, did you see they cut both of their kickers?
Yeah,
they didn't have a kicker on their roster,
and their long snapper too. I think.
Their long snapper.
They won't be kicking on.
They were listening to Jason Aponte.
2-point conversions for everything.
They were listening to Jason Aponte.
And going for it on 4th downs, baby. Fucking right. Let's go. I like that. I like that aggression.
So you're just going for 2 every time, too?
I'm lying. I don't like it. That was the dumbest thing I've ever heard of in my entire life. I was just kidding.
Bro, you cut both your kickers.
Yeah, but they probably cut them after. So there was a kicking competition in Baltimore. Now I don't know the time of when these things happen, Okay, but I do know that there was a kicking competition in Baltimore, and Tucker won. He edged out the other guy, but the other guy was on fire through the offseason. So maybe the Ravens were just watching that and said, we'll take whichever one of those guys they cut. That's all.
Yeah, Tucker held on to that and kept that job. Yeah, I seen that today.
Yeah, that was it. You know, maybe I'm just saying maybe that's what happened. I don't know. I wish the Niners were interested in kickers like that, but that's a different story for some time. All right, let's keep this thing moving here. We're gonna keep reviewing this offense. I mean, we went to the defensive line, we went to the offensive line. So now we're gonna pick another group. Nick, what group do you want to go to next?
Let's go to the backfield.
Dun 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 dun. How far back? Safeties or corners? Or you want to include them all in one big?
Or the running backs.
The running backs, the backfield.
Oh. On the okay. I'm thinking backfield. Like, never mind. Forget it. Safeties.
Yeah, no, that's the
All right.
secondary. No, let's go to the backfield. I mean,
yeah. What I tell y'all about Gallman? Didn't I tell y'all he wasn't gonna make it?
You did?
yeah,
Didn't
you
I
did.
tell y'all he wasn't
Wasn't
gonna
on my
make
list.
it, man? Talking about
I'm surprised by this, to be honest with you.
He was on my
Why?
list, and he's another player that they can possibly bring back.
Ooh,
Like,
shit. My bad.
you know, so
Brian, they told me that you need to keep him because he's a good blocker. Because he's the best blocker.
That's not the only reason we said
That's
that.
exactly what y'all said in that chat.
No, we said that he was the
I
best
said
blocker
he's the
on the
best
team.
pass blocker on the team.
Yeah, that doesn't mean that was the only reason to keep him.
I said that's one of his attributes. He does it better than all of these guys.
And I said,
yeah, but that doesn't mean that's the only thing.
Yeah.
He still averages 5 yards a carry. That's still more than
no,
that.
he don't. He didn't.
Yes,
do that
Yes,
this
he
year.
does.
Yes,
Not
he
here.
does.
Not here. He didn't.
He did.
Bro, he was playing behind a starting offensive line.
It's all Googleable numbers. Here, I'll tell you in a second. Hold on.
Right, but we talk about Trey Lance playing behind a second line and a third line and this and
I didn't
that.
say nothing about Trey Lance. Don't start moving the goalposts. We talking about Wayne Gallman here.
Right. So Wayne Gallman was playing behind backup offensive
care.
linemen.
I don't care. So was
Okay.
Hasty when he ran that long ass touchdown, right? That was the fourth quarter, wasn't it?
Yeah, and if you take it was the third, and if you take out the long ass touchdown, Hasty has 20 yards. Like,
We'll see.
no, but I'm just saying, like,
Gallman is a proven every 3 down back.
Yeah.
Jermichael Hasty is a 3 down
game against the
is a
Chiefs.
3rd down back. That's it.
The game against the Chiefs, Wayne Gallman averaged 3.5 yards a carry. That was the second lowest on the entire team.
That was his first week.
The game against the Chargers, Wayne Gallman averaged, wait for it,
4.9 or something.
4.8.
Yep. And then this one was what? 4.6?
Again, the second lowest on the team. And then against the Raiders, Wayne Gallman averaged, wait for it,
4.6.
4.6. Now, that was the 5.3, 7.6, 4.0, 4.6. That was the second lowest on the team again.
Okay, but are we truly grading a guy off of average yards per carry?
Yes, that's what they do for running backs. Yes, that's a thing.
That's a thing. That's
then you gotta factor in these long runs. You got to factor in all these little different things. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he was the bell cow for at least the last 2 games. I don't know if he was the bell cow in the Kansas City game. I can't honestly.
He wasn't the bell cow last game.
Him kind of with Mostert and Sermon on this.
He was the bell cow the last game. He had the most carries. Like so he had the most rushing attempts and against the Raiders and against the Chargers. But I don't think he had the most rushing attempts against the Chiefs. I don't remember when he came in the game, honestly. And he came in really late in this game.
Hasty had the most carries.
And I think in the first game there was only 2. They only had 2 active.
No, that was the second game.
Yeah, that was the second game. Hasty had
19
carries.
Oh yeah, the second game.
But Hasty only averaged 3.1 yards a carry. So let's not talk about this. Let's keep it moving.
What?
No, but I'm just saying that it doesn't.
Only had 3.1.
You don't just judge a running back off of yards per carry. Like that's just not fair. There's so many more attributes.
I see Hasty as being a more explosive player than Gallman.
Oh, absolutely.
And
Hasty's
I
a
think
third down back.
That's what that
Let's
is
be
what
honest
Kyle's
with you.
looking for. I don't think he's looking for another workhorse. He already got Sermon and he's got Mostert, who can be a workhorse as well. He proved that last year. So
Who
it
could
was
be a-
redundant. There was no reason to keep three of them
You
on.
said Mostert could be a workhorse?
He was a workhorse.
Yeah, and he was injured all the time.
Yeah, you better not have Mostert.
Mostert's not a workhorse running back.
You
He
definitely
shouldn't
want-
be. He should not be. You're absolutely
You're
right.
right. You shouldn't.
Anyway,
That doesn't mean he wasn't.
I get Trey. I don't think he was, but you got Trey Sermon, and so I do agree with that. So that's probably why he didn't make this team, because they're like the same running back. But Trey Sermon still has more explosiveness. I would tell you that Wayne Gallman was the best pass protector and probably the most durable out of these running backs.
Oh, he's never been injured.
Yeah. So there,
And he's a 3-down back.
That makes him the most durable.
Yeah. Mike, you can smile
Mike,
all you want.
It doesn't make him durable, Mike, if he's not been injured.
Y'all said he's never been injured, right? But this dude, he barely got carries before last year. So like that's a weird ass thing to say.
So
about
what?
somebody
Raheem Mostert
who's
came
got-
here and barely had carries with 7 teams.
He got injured the
Well, what's
first
that mean?
time he had a start against the Raiders. Did he not?
He has.
Did he not? Did he not get injured the first time he became the bell cow and was out? Raheem Mostert.
I don't know. Maybe it's possible, but what's that have to do with
Just
Goldman?
messed up my interception. No, we're just talking about guys getting with who gets injured and who doesn't. We're talking about
Wayne
injuries.
last year was his first year carrying the ball more than 111 times. Other than that, it was 29 carries in 2019, 51 carries in 2018.
But he still didn't get injured.
It's hard to get injured on 20 carries.
No, it's not.
What was his average yards last year?
Jermichael Hasty got injured on less than 20 carries.
What was his
Last year-
average yards behind a shit-ass Giants line?
Last year, he averaged 4.6, career best 4.6 yards a game.
Yeah, that's what he's
Behind
doing.
a horrible-ass Giants offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
4.6 yards. So you're telling me with our offensive line, if he was the bell cow here, he wouldn't average more than 4.6 yards per carry?
I don't know. It looks like they want to get
come on,
outside
Mike.
and
Come
not
on.
run through the.
Apparently,
Come on,
Kyle
Mike.
didn't think so, right?
It looks like they want to get outside and not run up the middle this year.
That's a good
All
point.
the run plays that they did. When
That's
when
not
we
true
coached-
because Elijah Mitchell runs up the middle.
Oh, you got it.
He averaged more yards than Elijah Mitchell, but Elijah Mitchell brings a different dimension to the running backs.
Elijah Mitchell's a big-ass dude. He's going to run between tackle.
Yeah, and he can return kicks. So that's probably why he's on the team. That and he's a rookie. Cheap contract. So I mean, hey, it is what it is. But you were right, Mike, and whoever else didn't pick Gallman.
Now, what I'm looking at with Gallman is that the way that this team is going to run, from what it looked like to me, especially when Trey was in there, is that they like going outside. They're either running right inside the tackle or around the tackle.
It's all
Not that-
outside zone, man. That's
Right.
what we want to do, yo.
And so that makes Raheem Mostert's value go up.
Yes,
That
it
makes a
does.
guy like Hasty's value go up. And I think that hurts a guy like Gallman, who is someone who's going to run where the guard is, who's going to get inside the guard. You get what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. And so if you're going to have, Nick just said Mitchell is going to do that, and we know that Sermon can do that also. So it doesn't make any sense if what they're going to try to do is get towards the outside more. It doesn't make any sense to keep 3 guys who are running on the inside.
Who
If
does
that's
the
not
same
going to
thing.
be your bread and butter. If you're going to have that rotation of players, that's all I'm saying.
And then and then Jeff Wilson's coming back at some point. And
Right.
so he's another inside guy. Like, you know what I mean? So I get it. I get why Gallman didn't make the squad. But he looked, in my opinion, he didn't look explosive like you said, but he looked very durable. He was taking hits and he wasn't trying to go down. And I like that from running backs. Those are old type of running backs. And if you're averaging over 4 yards a carry, that means you can give it to that running back 3 times and it's a first down. It's more than a first down. And that's what Kyle Shanahan, in my opinion, is always looking for. That's less pressure on the quarterback, less pressure on the passing game, and they can go ahead and get that running game established to open up stuff for the passing game. So, hey, sometimes you need just 3 or 4 yards. You're not going to always get the home run, the home run hit. You guys are trash.
I hate y'all, man. Ain't nothing wrong with it's nothing wrong with Tony, guys.
No comment.
There you go, Nick.
No comment.
All right, man. All right. Other than the Gallman thing, for real. were there any other surprises at this running back group? I think for those of us who didn't have Hasty, we had Gallman, and for those of us who had Gallman, we didn't have Hasty. I really think that was the only trade-off here. Nick, we did the show and we discussed the running back position, and at the time, I didn't have Mitchell making it. That was before the game. After the game, I said, "Hey Nick, I got to make a change in my roster." Right. I like what I saw in Mitchell, and it was also the return ability that I saw in Mitchell that I really, really liked. I'm a little upset that we only got to see it that one time. Like I want to see more. I want to see more. I want to see if he can be consistent with it. Anybody can get one good run. Hell, Richie James had a good run.
I'm going to be honest with you. Elijah Mitchell is Raheem Mostert's replacement.
He doesn't have that same explosiveness.
Yeah.
Okay. You think we resign? You think we resign Raheem next year?
No, I didn't say that.
It depends on the kind of season he has.
Right.
I'm not saying that. I just say he doesn't have the same explosiveness. That's two different.
Let's roll up the sleeves and have this discussion.
Oh shit.
Yeah. I'm going to make a statement, and you guys can agree with me or disagree with me and tell me why, what you think. Okay. Is Wayne frozen?
No.
You just sit on a pin. Okay. Wayne. Jesus. Elijah Mitchell is not as fast as Raheem Mostert.
It's not about being as fast, though, Mike. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about he has quick speed. He can run between tackles and run the outside zone outside. He can be the replacement for Raheem Mostert. It doesn't mean he has to match his speed to be his replacement.
I didn't say that he did. I said I was going to say a statement. You guys tell me if you agree or disagree. That's all I said.
Okay.
That's all I'm asking. Do you guys agree that he's not as fast as Raheem Mostert? Because there's a lot of people in the 49ers community say, look at his 40 time, which was a hand time because there was no combine. And look at his 40 time. He's fast as Raheem Mostert. He's faster than Raheem Mostert. And we were talking about this on the space today. And people were really saying, oh no, I've seen him. He's just as fast as Raheem Mostert. There's a lot of people in the fan base that feel that way, and this is worthy of having a discussion. And so I want to know your guys' opinion. Do you agree with what the people think, or do you have a different opinion? Don't all speak at once.
Well, I haven't seen the numbers come out from the equipment they wear, but I haven't seen anything that says that he's faster. So I have to go with Mostert being the fastest. But I do agree with Nick, the fact that as we move forward, I could definitely see him being Mostert's replacement. He's not going to be – we won't have necessarily the same running back group because we won't have that speed that Mostert has. But I think that when you go in and you draft a player like that he fits the replacement for the mold for Mostert.
And that's the thing. Like with him, I'm not saying he's as fast as Raheem Mostert. Raheem Mostert has world-class speed. And he has world-class speed to where it's kind of like he has that second gear, I should say, when he needs to turn it up. Whereas Elijah Mitchell has that one speed, but it's quick explosion out of the hole to where Raheem Mostert runs fast, but then he goes faster. Like, it's in there. But what I mean by Elijah Mitchell is he's a bigger, elusive, quick, and more physical, and can be Raheem Mostert's replacement, where he runs in between tackles and runs the outside zone, where you have Trey Sermon who can run the ball in the middle and get the short yardage downs and things like that. So, and Raheem Mostert's on his final contract.
Right.
And he's also 29 years old. So I know that eventually we're going to move on from him. It's cool to say this guy could be his replacement. But when you say his replacement, I'm thinking that they're going to replace Raheem Mostert's role in this system with him. And I don't think that's it. I think they go out and they look for a guy with world-class track speed to do what Mostert did. Because Mostert's not if we're going to be honest here and keep the sleeves rolled up, Raheem Mostert's not a good running back at all. He's just good in this system. And there's a big difference. between a good okay, Wayne Gallman is a better all-around running back than Raheem Mostert is. Yet Raheem Mostert is on this team for a reason, because he has angle-defying speed. Nobody else on this roster has that. And so when someone says to me, Mitchell is going to be Mostert's replacement, I'm thinking, no, he's not, because he doesn't possess that speed. So that's what I was thinking when you said that. So if I misunderstood you, then I apologize. But that's where I was going with it. Raheem Mostert is only on this roster because of his speed. Nothing else. That's my opinion on it. So when you tell me that this is his replacement, that guy can't do what he does. And so that's where I was.
Well, he can't do one thing that he does, and that's run that fast.
That one thing is the only thing Mostert does, though.
Right. That's what I'm saying. But that's why I'm saying, Elijah Mitchell may end up bringing more to us in all-around game than Raheem Mostert does. And he may not bring you that world-class speed, but he'll bring you enough speed. And we also know that we just said it, right? It's like we just said it with Raheem Mostert. He's a beneficiary of the scheme. And Elijah Mitchell, why he's not as fast as Raheem Mostert, but he may be fast enough to still break those long runs like Raheem Mostert and score because of the scheme and be able to do all the other things. So it's something to look at. I just don't think we're going to pay Raheem Mostert more than what he's getting paid right now, when Kyle Shanahan looks more like he's going towards a running back by committee type of running back group. So, and Mike, you should be happy. I mean, you got guys like Trey Sermon and JaMychal Hasty are guys that are those beefy backs, and Elijah Mitchell is that beefy back also, as in what is he, like 215, 230? What's his actual weight?
Who are you talking about? Elijah
Mitchell. What's he like?
Mitchell is running back.
200.
218 is what they listed.
What?
Yep.
When did he get up to 218?
That's what the last numbers I got off of the 49ers website.
Yeah, so 218. So
that's a lot of weight. That's a lot of weight to add.
Yeah, and he's still pretty quick. Like, he's not, you know what I mean? So it's definitely something to look out for. I'm excited to see Elijah Mitchell play, because I heard a lot of good things in the beginning of camp, and then obviously he had that injury. But let's see what happens.
Why did he add that much weight? That's a lot of weight to add. Like, we heard Mike McGlinchey didn't add 18 pounds, did he?
Mike McGlinchey?
Yeah, that's a lot of weight to add, dude. What is this? Hold on. What am I looking at?
Wasn't he like really light though? Wasn't he like 180 something, and he wanted to be more beefy, like he wanted to bulk up or something like that?
Ooh. So if you just Google Elijah Mitchell, right? They give you all these little videos and pictures, but on the right side it says about Elijah I. Mitchell is an American football running back. His birthday, height, round he was drafted in, the college he went to, and weight.
And his says 200 there.
200.
Yeah. Yep, they updated it to 200 on the 49ers website too.
Oh, so he's down. So he is 200 then.
That's what they have him at now.
Because 200 to 218 is a big difference for a skill position in the NFL. That is a massive difference. Okay. All right. So then never mind then. I won't go into it more. I don't want to waste time on it. So all right, that's cool. But no, and again, when we have these discussions here, guys, we're not saying this guy is better or this guy is worse and we hate this guy. That is not it. We're talking about our roster. We're having a good time talking about this roster, because I'll tell you guys this, I know we're not done yet. When I stepped back and I looked at the entire roster, I was really, really excited for the season to get started. I mean, this is going to be a really fun year of football. So, all right. Any other takes on the running backs? We know Jeff Wilson didn't make it. I see people asking where's Jeff Wilson? Jeff Wilson is going to go on IR. Does that mean that he's done for the season because it happened early? Right? That means that he can't come back?
He's on the PUP list.
Right.
So that's different than IR.
Right.
Yeah, so
he's going to be out for 6
weeks.
Yeah.
Yo, hold up? So you got Jeff Wilson.
That's what I'm
saying.
saying.
One coming back in 6 weeks. You got Jordan Willis
6 weeks.
Is his first name
In
Jordan?
6 weeks. Yeah,
Yep.
Jordan.
His first name is Jordan Willis.
Yeah.
And then you also got Maurice Hurst. Yo, this team is
you might as well let him come back in 6 weeks too, and then this team is gonna be fresh after the bye. Like it's
So
gonna
you're
be
gonna,
crazy.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. That bye week, you're gonna get a shot in the arm on both sides. Oh,
a lethal, an injection, baby.
they not gonna want to fuck with us. You hear me? Push the beat button, Breezy. They not gonna want to fuck with us like that. This is gonna be a fun team to watch, bro. Oh my! And look,
Yo, Tarvarius Moore could possibly still come back
come
too.
on, man.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
I was gonna say that when you guys were talking about safeties, but because he had an Achilles, right? But it doesn't mean it's a complete tear, and people come back from Achilles in the same year, so he could realistically come back, and that could be your safety help. But obviously it depends on the positioning and the numbers.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. All right, so let's keep this party moving here, guys. Let's go to another position group. We did the backfield, so now we're going to take it to the backfield that Mike thought we were talking about, and we're going to talk about safeties. Now, this is a short group here, but now we touched on this a couple of times, but let's go through it again. The 49ers only kept 4 safeties: Jimmy Ward, Jaquiski Tart, Tavon Wilson. Okay, this is why I say Jaquiski, because there's no A after the Q. It's Quisky. Now, they're going to tell me it's Kwaski, and I've seen this typed phonetically a bunch of times, but can we just agree that it's a made-up name? I mean, I want to respect the name, but the spelling of it is Jaquiski, right?
It's just made up.
If I type this into Google, am I going to get a definition?
I don't know.
Okay. And Tavon Wilson and Talanoa Hufanga. What are our thoughts on the safety group here, guys? On the defensive backfield, so to speak. Can't believe I did that. What are our thoughts here, man? Only 4. On my original 53, I kept. Hold on, let me see. It's weird. So I have this quick notepad here on my computer that I keep my notes on while we're doing the shows and everything, and it's weird because I had to open it twice in order to get it. I had Ward, Tart, Hufanga, and Dix. I don't think I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, I didn't have Tavon Wilson. I had Dix instead of Wilson. So I had a reason for that. The reason I had Dix making it is because he can play both free and strong safety. And I like that option where if one of our guys went down, whoop, you could plug him in right away.
Tavon can also, though.
Okay. And so what's the tiebreaker when you have 2 guys that can do the same thing? For me, it's youth and the guy that can get you turnovers. And that's what I was really hyped about when watching Clinton Dix out there. So let's talk about it, man. Who wants to go first? Okay, because you did the woodpecker thing. Bro, so I showed that to my wife today, and her face was...
Yo, Greg Papa, where does he come up with this shit?
And he did that shit so excitedly, too. He's like, no,
he's
bro,
like,
they should have unplugged his microphone immediately. But give us your thoughts on the safety position, and we'll go to Brian, and we'll go to Breezy.
No, I mean, I didn't have Tavon Wilson making this team because of his injury, because he was taking all the first team snaps when Kwaski was out, but I kind of wanted to let the young kid grow a little bit, right? So I understand it, though. Kwaski doesn't stay healthy. Tavon Wilson is more of a box safety compared to He's more of that box safety up close. But then I also thought about it as, okay, well, if you wanted to bring back you could have still used Marcel Harris as a linebacker plus a strong safety if something happened to Kwaski. So I looked at it a couple different ways. This is not taking anything away from Tavon Wilson because I think he's a great player. But I also understand it because I didn't want to rush Talanoa Hufanga into a position, kind of like I don't want to rush Trey Lance into a position, right? So while yes, he looks like he's semi-ready, he still also looks like he has a lot to learn. So I don't mind it. I like that we kept 4 instead of going crazy, and we used that numbers, I guess you could say, the numbers game in other places. But yeah, we'll see how it works out with Tavon. I will call it a successful year if Tavon Wilson or Hufanga don't have to play strong safety at all this year.
That's a mic drop right there. All right, B. What you got on the safety positions, man?
No, I mean, Nick covered most of everything. You know, like I said, I was disappointed that HaHa got here. I didn't have Tavon making this list initially. I'm glad, like Nick said, that we kept 4. I think that's good. I like the versatility, I think, of HaHa better, and I like the interceptions. But, obviously the team saw something a little bit more of what they're looking for in Tavon than what they saw in HaHa, at least right now. I mean, we don't know what could happen tomorrow when moves start getting made. People, with Hurst, you don't know who's going to come back, or maybe there's somebody else that we don't know about that they plan on throwing into that, short-term IR situation. So he's definitely a player that I would think would come back, or at least going to be on the practice squad, hopefully. But as far as who we kept, Ward was a lock. Hufanga was going to be a lock. Tart was a lock as soon as he was healed up. And so it was really just that one that was kind of the bubble. Which way do you go? And obviously the team went in a different direction than what I had thought, but that's why I'm not the coach.
Okay. All right. We're going to ask Breezy what his thoughts were. And there was only 2 players that were cut from the safety position that didn't make this roster. Jared Maiden being one of them, and HaHa Clinton Dix was the other. Now, Tony's not here to defend his opinion. Again, he's on his self-prescribed break. But did you have hopes? Did you have ambitions for Jared Maiden or HaHa Clinton Dix to make this roster?
I didn't have ambitions for Maiden because he's young and he hasn't just done enough. I mean, he did get he had an interception the last preseason game again in the Chargers game that should have been a pick 6, but was negated by a stupid penalty. But he just hasn't done enough, right? And so I still think he has time and room to grow. And so I think he's a guy you cut and you hope they make it to the practice squad. We hope they make it to the practice squad, but they're hoping that they get a job through a different NFL team. Maybe HaHa I had HaHa making it, but I tell you what, shout out to the 49ers because they made HaHa look good again. And so he put some good film out there. He did have some busted coverages, not lined up in the right spot a couple of times. But even in the Raiders game, there was a play where I was just like, this is why he won't make the team. And then I had to retract it because then when he was playing the safety in that deep third of the field, he picked the ball right off. Like he knew the ball was going right to his hands, and he was able to return it for 36 yards. So I kind of had HaHa making the team because of veteranship, but then I should have thought they're not going to probably take 2 vets, right? And so they got the young kid, Hufanga, who we knew was clearly on the rise. And then it was going to come down between Tavon Wilson. But I had 5 safeties opposed to 4. So they went with Tavon over HaHa, and it could be simply because he was in camp day 1. Like, he got all the installments, and maybe he had the better training camp. And you didn't even see him out there in all the games, but maybe because he had the better camp, he's the better player for the team.
All right. And you got a question here from Mulberry Kids Group. I'm sorry, Mulberry Group HLDS. I don't know why I thought that said kids.
Oh, he says, where did I get these pictures in the frames? I buy the frame. I just shop around, man. I look around different places, Facebook Marketplace, certain sports places that are up here. I go to certain auctions and things like that, and I just grab stuff that's nostalgic. I'm a nostalgic type of a player, so you'll see more nostalgic stuff of the 49ers in my cave than you will of a lot of the new stuff that's going around.
So when I was looking at this safety group, I think the thing that was bothering me the most about it was the Tavon Wilson thing, right? And if I'm not mistaken, what is he, 31? Let me just Google. I want to make sure I'm giving accurate information. But I think he's 31.
Yes.
Yeah, he's 31 years old, and I'm like, all right, how does he make the team over Clinton Dix, right? And I thought about something. Tart was healthy enough to play the game. We don't know how he felt exactly. But what if going into week 1, we're going to have to use whoever is not Tart? Is it possible that Wilson made the roster because the team felt he was more ready to be a starter than Dix in this system? Because Wayne mentioned it, the busted coverages, it was kind of a boom or bust situation with him, right? So if that's the case, we need the shorthand at the safety position as opposed to the hit or miss guy for the safety position, right? Mm-hmm. So is that something that could be? Because I couldn't figure out why. If it's just a backup, don't you take the guy with more upside?
That doesn't mean that Wilson doesn't have the better upside, or lesser upside. It's just that I think you take the better backup for right now, and you roll your card. You roll the dice with that, right? So I don't think that Dix wasn't a better option. I mean, they brought him in, but they didn't bring him in initially, and Dix was just around chilling, right? And so if the 49ers really wanted Dix, they would have signed him during the offseason instead of bringing him in after a Tony Jefferson season-ending injury to give him some work. But I think that's why they're going with Wilson. I think your logic might be, who knows why they pick certain players. I mean, it's weird, but I think that's part of the logic. Just in case Tart, we did see Tart get a knock his knees. He said he knocked knees with the player, and who knows, he might have a chipped knee bone or something like that. So, maybe it's possible he might not be fully ready to go in 2 weeks. And so they have the better option, which is the guy that started camp day 1, and that's Tavon Wilson.
All right. I respect it, man. Take a look at that chat and just tell me if you're ready to dance. You ready?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, guys. Wide receiver position. We're back on the offensive side of the ball. We're running out of positions to go over here. The 49ers kept the following players. They made the 53-man roster. Deebo Samuel. Wow. See, Nick, I started from the top. Brandon Ayuk. Mohamed Sanu. Trent Sherfield. Jawan Jennings. And Jalen Hurd. All right, guys. We were all sitting around. We had a lot of expectations for this group. We were hoping a return man was going to come out of here. A punt return man was going to come out of here. Let's talk about it. Come on now. Who wants to go first? You?
Punt man is Brandon Ayuk.
How many returns did you see Ayuk do this preseason?
Doesn't matter how many he did. Who else are you going to put back there?
You want me to call Hightower? I don't know.
Right, that's what I'm asking. There's nobody else on the team that even took any punt returns this year.
I didn't see Ayuk take any this year.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. There's nobody else on the team that took any either.
I don't know, Nick. It's tough, man. I mean, Brandon Ayuk. I don't know, man. He can't even stay on the field as a wide receiver, and he can't catch the ball as a wide receiver. And now we want him returning kicks. I don't know, man. I just want him to focus on being the best wide receiver. But hey, it's not my team. I just support the team. So it does look like he is the guy. Can I see that list again? Because I want to see if there are any DBs possible.
Ambry Thomas.
Ambry Thomas is more of a kickoff returner. No, I wouldn't have him return the punts. I don't think he has that. It's a little different.
All right, I'm in full screen mode, so when it's time to remove it, I'm going to have Nick or Brian remove it. So, because I want to see y'all eyes when we discuss this wide receiver position, because I am here to stir the pot. Let me tell you that.
It, man. That would be it. So Nick wants to know who's returning, and right now, out of the running backs, it could be Elijah Mitchell, or Jermichael Hasty, maybe. No, he fumbles the ball too much.
I think Elijah Mitchell will definitely be the kickoff return.
I agree.
But I don't think he'll be doing punts.
No.
Hey, I'll be honest with y'all. It would be exciting to see Elijah Mitchell is the kick return, and Brandon Ayuk is the punt return.
Oh, I'm
where's that
completely fine with
excitement
it.
at? You know, like where's that excitement from the 49ers fan base? Like, let's do it.
I think a lot of people get worried about Ayuk returning punts. You know, when you think about him as our number one, number two, however you want to debate it, wide receiver. You know, not a lot of teams are going to take their number one, number two, and throw them back there on special teams like that. You know, it's just. Sorry.
I was asking Nick to take the graphic down.
So I think that's why a lot of people have concerns about saying he's going to be the punt returner.
I'm more concerned with injuries.
Right.
So,
and you increase your injury risk when you're out there on special teams.
Yeah, like that would be my thing. Like that's why I said he can barely it seems like he's having trouble staying on the field as a wide receiver, but these are practices, these are training camp things. Like these are things right now that I'm hoping he's work out. But we're talking about hamstrings, and we all know hamstrings are injuries that never end. Like they don't go away when they're supposed to. So I honestly don't know. But as far as the wide receiver positions, we got 6 receivers. Kyle said we're taking 6. Everybody picked 6. Okay. Did everybody have the same 6? Hell no. All right. So let's talk about Jalen Hurd and how the hell he's on this team after 1 preseason game and 95 missed practices. I'm trying to figure that out. And then we all had an inkling that Jawan Jennings was going to make it. But I think we both came down to either Travis Benjamin making it or Webster making it. And so I'm confused. So let's talk.
Yeah, I mean, I had Simba making it over Sanu. Not for, not because they're interchangeable people, but because I felt like we needed to have that return guy in there. So, and I kind of, I know that in the beginning of training camp, Sanu was kind of like, oh, look at Sanu, he's going to be great. And everybody was starting to debate whether he was going to be, wide receiver 3 on the team. And then you see Sherfield show up and like, okay, maybe he's going to be wide receiver 4. And then Jennings is starting to show up. Okay, wide receiver 5. And now, you got Hurd back. So you knew that he was going to have a secure roster spot just based on the fact that Kyle wants to see him in this system. So, yeah, I mean, I thought to me, Sanu, it was going to end up being odd man out. So that was kind of a shocker to see that he stayed. And then we didn't keep, a return man in that group, at least not one that we've seen utilized in such a capacity.
Week 2 and week 3, including week 1. But really, week 2, week 3 is kind of what made me stir away from Webster on my final 53 because he wasn't taking barely any snaps as a receiver. He wasn't taking any. He barely took kickoff returns after that one big run. I think he took 2 more.
Yep.
And it was kind of like maybe they're not that interested in him, and they want to see what else can work out that will be able to play the wide receiver position as well. So I kind of started going towards the Travis Benjamin era.
Yep.
And then Travis Benjamin comes up with the concussion. So it's like, okay, so now, and then you get Jalen Hurd back, who plays a game. Now, while he wasn't as explosive as I think he can be, he must have came out of that fine to where he makes this team. Now, and then you have...
I think he was making his team regardless, Nate.
Yeah, no, I know. But I'm saying I think if he came down with that swelling and stuff, they would have put him on IR again to end the year. Instead of cutting him. I think they would have let him make the 53 or put him on the IR before the 53 so that his season was over.
Can I interject real quick?
Yeah.
So all preseason, Simba Webster had 2 receptions for a total of 18 yards.
He had an end around for a run.
Yes. Then there was a run for 34 yards.
34 yards, yeah.
So you got 3 touches for a grand total of, where'd it go? 18 and 34, 52 yards?
52 yards.
All right, so 3 touches for 52 yards. Okay, if you look at Travis Benjamin, because you said you were looking at the receiving thing, Travis Benjamin had 2 receptions for 24 yards, and that's it. So how do we get more comfortable with Benjamin as a receiver than Webster?
I'm saying Benjamin was out there more.
Oh, on the field?
Yeah, on the field.
I can't prove that. So, all right, that's fine.
No, but I
That's
kind of took it the opposite way that you did, because I figured once we started seeing him, I thought maybe they would pull back on Webster, and his roster's spot was a little bit more secure, and they wanted to see a little bit from other people. So I took it kind of the opposite way you did.
Yeah, no, I mean, I just kind of looked, like I said, I kind of looked at the receiver position wise, because we knew that 6th receiver position was pretty much up for grabs. And actually, probably the 5th and 6th spot were up for grabs before week 3. So when he's not getting the snaps at receiver, that's what kind of shied me away from him. And it's like, okay, well, he didn't get snaps this week. And then Jalen Hurd comes back. He's getting the snaps at receiver. What are they really seeing in Nsimba Webster? And really, we're all excited off of one run. Like, truthfully, it was the one run on the kickoff return, and then he had the end around right after that. So
when you said one run, I thought you meant the end around. I was going to say, no, I like the kick.
No. I'm saying for special teams wise, he had one kickoff return that was and it could have just been coverage, and he had the lanes, and he took it.
So in the last game against the Raiders, Webster had one punt return for 19 yards. Benjamin had one punt return for 16 yards. This dude's a bump. Craycraft had 2 returns for a total of 3 yards. If you look at the Chargers game, you have for returns again. So now I was talking, what was that? Punt returns before, right? This time it was kick returns. Webster had 1 kick return for 27 yards. So you got a 19-yard punt return. You have a 27-yard kick return. Benjamin had 1 punt return for 12 yards. And then against the Chiefs, you got Webster had 3 returns, kick returns, for 62 yards. It's an average of over 20 yards a return. He didn't have any punt returns, but Benjamin had 1, and it was for 6 yards. Like, I just don't see how. I don't know. I guess I don't see how he didn't make the roster as specifically a return guy. Now, apparently, he had a lot of fumble issues that I didn't know about. So if that's the case, then so be it. But I didn't see it this preseason. Are we going to assume that a person can't improve? Like, how long has Nsimba Webster been in the NFL? Like, he couldn't have shaken whatever problems that he's had. I don't have this information. I'm not being facetious. I don't understand how this guy, when one of our biggest needs on the roster is special teams return man, whether it be punts or kicks, how does the guy averaging over 20 yards a return in one and over 12 yards in the other, how does he not make the roster? And then we're stuck sitting here saying, all right, well, let's put our first round wide receiver out to do one thing and our drafted running back to do the other. Like, you get what I'm saying? How does something like that happen? I don't know. And I'm not trying to be funny. I just don't know. I don't get how it happens. So anybody know how long he's been in the league? Maybe he's an 8-year veteran who's always fumbled, and that's why he doesn't make the roster.
He was undrafted in 2019, so this was his 2nd year. Or would have been his 3rd year.
He's getting the practice squad. Nobody's gonna pick him up, and we'll have our return guy.
Talk your shit, Wayne. Say it again. Let them hear you in the back.
Oh, they can hear me, man. I can't be loud right now. But he's gonna be back. Webster will be back over Benjamin, just because he'll clear waivers. He'll be on the practice squad, and next thing you know, he'll be getting called up. He could be the guy that they move up, and when they move to the IR, and then you get Simba for like practice squad money. That's a win-win for Kyle Shanahan, John Lynch, right, and my man Parag Marate, right? And so this, like, everything that we do is a strategic move. And so, Nick, you said it early on the spaces. Don't expect this to be what we see week 1. Like don't expect this final 53 to be what we see week 1. We had the deadline, we had to meet a deadline, and we met the deadline. Kyle Shanahan is always throwing curveballs, always throwing stuff out there to just get our minds going crazy, have us saying stuff, and next thing you know, He knows what's going to be right for this team. So it's I think Webster will be back because he obviously over Benjamin was the more explosive and on the special team side of the ball. He can run end arounds, which means he could do the stuff Richie James didn't make the squad. I realized that. Oh snap! It just hit me. Oh shit!
Just now.
I had forgot about Richie James, and I kind of moved on from Richie James like last year. But just the fact that I didn't even hear his name, like at all, we didn't even talk about how was he even on the sheet of the people that got cut and let go? I didn't even.
Well, yeah, he's on there because I think it was an injury thing. Hold on, let's pop that up.
He was waived.
He got waived because of
he was waived for injury, and he came. Yeah, he'll be back, and then they'll do an injury settlement or keep him for the year. Or whatever.
There you go.
There it is. There's the sheet there, and Richie James' name is under the waived.
It's not on the sheet.
It's not on the sheet.
Just like I said.
Right.
Wait a second.
They already bumped him to IR.
Okay, but they already bumped Tavarius Moore to IR to IR, right?
I think
they didn't put him on IR. They just waived him.
Who?
Richie James.
How many accrued seasons does he have? Can they just waive him, or was he released?
He was released.
He's not on the waive list, Nick. It's
right. The other day, hold on, I'll pull it up because it was in the transaction.
It's supposed to be a total of 25 new moves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
49ers waive injured Richie James.
Yeah, on 8/28.
Yeah, they waived him.
Right. But usually, if he was waived, once he clears waivers, he'll revert. So he'll revert back to the roster.
No, he'll revert back to the injured reserve.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they'll be on IR.
If he clears waivers. But that's like what they tried to do with DJ Reed.
Yes.
Y'all didn't hear Wayne struggling to say our IR?
Yeah, but nobody's stealing his ass.
Good night, y'all. It's been real.
I'm sorry.
I gotta go.
Aye.
I couldn't say our IR. It's like weird.
So you can't leave yet, bro. You can't leave yet. I gotta gloat. I gotta gloat a little bit, but I don't want to gloat yet. I have a confession to make, guys. I didn't think Mohamed Sanu was gonna make this roster, so I owe you guys an apology. Nick, let me look in your eyes, bro. Nick, I'm sorry. You were right. I was wrong. Mohamed Sanu made this roster. Who else had Mohamed Sanu? Which one of you guys had Sanu making it? Breezy, let me look in your eyes. Breezy. Oh, damn. I'm sorry. I was wrong. Mohamed Sanu made the 53-man roster. His old ass made the 53.
Why you got to throw in extra stuff?
Hey, man, but he Jersey strong. I knew he was going to be all right, bro. That's Jersey in the building. But we got to talk about it, man. My man, Jalen Hurd. Now, tell the truth. Wave your hand if you had Jalen Hurd making the squad. Let's go, B. Huh? B, let me look you in your eye. What's up, baby? All right.
You didn't have him making it.
Who didn't?
You said he was
crazy as hell, Nick. I got my whole 53-man roster right here, and I bet push-ups to Croc in your spaces that Jalen Hurd will make the roster.
You said I ain't got him making it either,
bro. You know
he pulled the Kyle Shanahan.
I got the text message here from when I text the whole group. My 53-man roster. Oh damn, it's going already.
He pulled the Kyle Shanahan, Nick. Because
y'all pull it up.
Remember
all
when
y'all got cell phones?
Remember when Jalen Hurd was going through the injury stuff and he was like, "Oh, it's not looking good." He was just doing all that. He was just saying.
One of you guys pull up your cell phone.
No, we don't need to pull up our cell phone.
Yes, Mike. You do. Come on, B. Have my back, B. Come on, B.
Listen, I believe you.
It was probably in some chat I wasn't in, Mike.
No, it's in our group chat. I text my 53 today.
Yeah, today.
What you mean today? I texted before the death. Nick, don't do that, Nick. Don't do that, Nick.
Bro, you on the spaces said, Croc, you got
when I got up this morning, there was
Jalen Hurd,
90 messages in here.
You got Jalen Hurd making the team, and he's like,
what did he write though?
You were like, you want to bet about this? And he's like, you're like, you got Jalen Hurd making this team? He's like, no, you're like, okay, me either.
I said, me neither. And then I said, all right, but I tell you what, I'll take Hurd making the roster. I bet you 20 push-ups.
Right, but it was just for the bet purpose. You originally said
yes
he wasn't making the team.
Yes, because I was tired of y'all bitching and crying about him being on the team.
What did he write? That's the only thing that matters.
Mike wrote wide receivers 6: Simba Webster, Trent Sherfield, Deebo Samuel, Jawan Jennings, Jalen Hurd, Brandon Ayuk.
There you go.
That was at hold on, 8:16. Well, 8:16 my time. So, or
that's right, 11:16, but way before the deadline, way before Matt Mayoko and Burrows and whoever else tweeted that shit out. Let's go, Hurd! Congratulations! Oh wait, no, put me up here. Hurd, congratulations!
Before the last preseason game,
made a 53-man roster, Playboy. This is just the first.
That's what I'm saying, Nick. That is what he said, Nick. That ain't what he wrote. Nick, you're right. He did say that. And he reiterated it multiple times. Mike did say Hurd's not going to make the roster, but I knew he was bullshitting, trying to say.
He wasn't bullshitting. He knew. He said he changed his perspective after the preseason game.
A lot of y'all changed. We all changed perspectives.
I did. I still had Hurd making it all
I'm talking about on positions, period. Y'all motherfuckers just had a show. We had an original 53 where we had other people on here, and then guys leave the team. We had to change shit. So cats will change stuff. It's okay. He wrote it. He sent it in before the deadline, and that's all that matters.
Let me prove him wrong real quick. Nick said that I changed my mind after the game, right? That's what Nick just said.
Oh gosh, Nick.
Right?
Why'd you say that, Nick?
We did a 53-man roster prediction show
before the game. Yeah.
And guess what? I had Jalen Hurd on my list.
You only said that to make a bet with Croc.
Nah, I don't want to hear it, bro.
Bro, he said the game. You literally said, I don't have him making this team. You were like, oh shit, me either. So, but I'll take him for the sake of a bet. That's what you said.
I'll give you the timeline. When we started the season, I said Hurd's making the team. After week 1, he was hurt. I said Hurd's making the team. After week 2, and he didn't play, and everybody said, "Oh my God, he's not practicing. One practice, he's hurt." I said, "Hey, fuck it, cut him. Don't let him make the team."
Well, no, one practice. He didn't practice for a whole fucking week.
Exactly, and that's all y'all said, and that's all y'all complained. I said, "Hey, F it, cut him. But when it was time to make it official, when it was time to put your name behind that, when it was time to sign off on it, every time it was official, I put that man on the list.
What did I say in OTAs? Do you remember what I said in OTAs, Mike?
What'd you say?
You remember what I said in OTAs?
Oh, man, you said a lot. No, what'd you say? Tell me.
I said the 6 receivers we're going to have are on this roster already.
And Jalen Hurd.
I thought I was going to be wrong because I was expecting Webster, but we didn't. We stayed with Sanu.
Sanu made it. He made the cut.
So at the end of the day, we all got one wrong. So guess what? We got the same fucking grade.
Well, so
can we move on? Can we keep going? I'm tired.
Wait, hold on. Wait, let me ask you all this question though. All jokes aside, forget the Hurd thing and da da da.
I'm gonna find a text message when he
said, Nick ain't going to sleep.
When he said, I'm gonna find a text message when he said Jalen Hurd's not making this team, and I said, Mike, is that being sarcastic? You were like, no, I'm being dead serious. He's not making this team.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I remember that.
Y'all don't remember that this was right after Tony threw his first hissy fit, and I was just tired of arguing about shit. I was like, "Yep, I'm serious. No, let him go."
That's an easy ass cop out.
This is the same day I said how much I bite my tongue.
You change your mind all the time to make yourself right.
Tell me one time I was on the record and said that Jalen Hurd won't make the team.
So then don't lie and say it wasn't sarcastic.
All right, that's fair.
Because you're saying you're lying.
You've been able to detect my sarcasm even when you asked me that question.
Right, but I said I laughed out loud and said, "Are you being sarcastic?" You're like, "No, he's really not making this team."
Yes,
some popcorn, Wayne.
That's true. No. And Nick is absolutely right. Dog. He's absolutely right. But let me ask you this question.
We'll get some popcorn.
This is my final question. No, Wayne, don't leave. This is my final question to Nick. Tell me one person you know that has supported Jalen Hurd more than me.
I don't know. Don't care.
That's what I thought. That means me.
This guy.
Don't do that. Beat. Well, I don't know. I've been on the Hurd train since the moment we draft. You got to go back and see the video from when we drafted him, okay? And listen to me completely lose my mind for the next 17 minutes.
Me
Like,
too.
I'm off camera screaming and clapping my hands.
I lost
could
my
not control myself.
I lost my mind because I was pissed off at the pick.
Don't say what you said. Don't say what you said.
I don't remember what I said. I remember it was something stupid.
Oh man, I was so mad at you for saying that shit. Oh man, but yes. So look, here we go. See, now we need Tony back. It's Mike's fault. Look at. It's not my fault. Have I ever kicked anybody off the show?
No.
Have I ever told anybody they're not welcome to come back on the show?
I don't think either of us have.
No. Okay. Okay. So if anybody's not here,
I've heard people in us say, "Well, I'll just quit. I'll just take a break and be away from MBN." I'm like, what? Nobody said that.
Yeah. So all right. I just want to make sure. Now, all jokes aside, though, with this wide receiver group, all jokes aside, were there any surprises to you guys that like you really just didn't see happening? Like in all honesty. So again,
no. And in all honesty, I was definitely rooting for Jalen Hurd. I just hope that he can find ways to just be healthy and be productive. That's it, man. That's all we can ask for from the kid, yo. Stay healthy and be productive. And so I was actually rooting for him. I just thought that when I saw the other 5 guys that we have, I felt like they were more healthy and more productive. And so I thought when we brought in a guy like Webster and we still had Travis Benjamin competing and we brought in Webster, I'm like, oh, snap. Now we got a wide receiver that has some speed and can return. And so that's why I quickly resulted. But I thought Webster was going to make it. I knew Sanu was going to make it. And that's why Hurd's not on my list, because I knew we weren't going with 7 since Kyle Shanahan said he's one of the best 6 guys we got out there, right? And so I was like, he fucked up my 7. So that's that. But no, I wasn't surprised.
When we did our initial wide receiver breakdown, you had like 8 or 9 receivers making this squad.
I had 8. I had 8 because last year we went with 7, and I added in 1 extra 1.
So look at this list here, Wayne. If you got to jump off, man, please like say your final word and jump off. But if not, I want to read this list here.
All right, guys, love y'all. I'll see y'all next show.
Love you, Wayne.
Peace out, brother. All right, so damn, I don't
and
like
Nick
this.
Too?
No, Nick's there.
Nick's in the middle.
How do I? Is there a way to change? Is there a way to? All right, I like this. This is cool. All right, so
you can hide me because my eyes are like half closed.
He looks half baked back there.
Listen to this, right?
Tired.
Travis Benjamin, River Craycraft, Simba Webster. Tell me one of those guys that showed they had more value than either Mohamed Sanu or Jalen Hurd.
Me personally, I still think Webster's brings more to this team than Sanu does, but I'm not in the inner workings. Obviously, we saw that Debo and Ayuk were really upset when Sanu was cut last year. Now Sanu's supposed to be healthy, so we'll see a different guy. I don't know. But for me personally, I would have rather seen Simba on this roster.
Nick, how do you feel about that?
I don't know. I mean, you're talking about Sanu versus Webster or Benjamin versus Webster?
You can say Sanu or Hurd versus Webster, Benjamin, or Craycraft, because those were the 3 receivers we cut to keep those 2.
Well,
like, which one of the 3 showed more value than the 2 that we kept? Because I think we all agree here. I think we all agree that the top 4 receivers are actually going to contribute in the offense, and that is Ayuk, Samuels, Sherfield, and
Hurd.
Ayuk, Samuel. No, I don't know. Jennings, yes, Jennings was the other guy. I don't
think Hurd's going to produce in this offense this year.
Right.
I think he'll probably be active.
I think you're going to be surprised.
Weeks.
Right. I think as he gets healthier, he'll get work back in there.
Yeah.
But now, so with those top 4 guys, those are the guys that we saw with our own eyes earn their roster spot as receivers this year, right? Ayuk, Samuel, Sherfield, and Jennings. Okay. So that leaves the bottom 2 guys, of Jalen Hurd and Mohamed Sanu against Craycraft, against Simba Webster, and against Travis Benjamin. Which one of these guys over here should have made it over one of these guys, in your opinion, Nick? If anybody.
I'm not going to go with Webster.
Okay. There might not be anybody. There might not be anybody, and it's proving my point.
I'm not going to go with Webster. And if I was going because of experience-wise and leadership-wise, I would have went with probably Benjamin out of those three. Only because of the fact that he still has that deep speed. He still can do kickoffs and, special teams, punt returns. So he brings value to where he can be active on a game day compared to if we're inactive Jalen Hurd until he's ready.
Are you still living off of Benjamin's previous history, though? Because we really haven't seen that game time with the 49ers. So is that for Benjamin? I'm just asking, does he still have that? Maybe the coaching staff didn't see that high-end speed anymore.
Okay, well, I'm going off of what I've heard about camp, just like you're going off of, 2 plays of Webster. So, what's the difference?
Well, you heard in camp that Benjamin was getting deep?
Yeah.
Beating people deep?
Yeah.
I didn't hear that.
When I listen to Chris Biederman and Kyle Madsen talk on their podcast on the Candlestick Chronicles, they talk about Benjamin and his speed. And that's why they had Benjamin making this team, was because it was a guy that can still go over the top and have seen it in practice. And where Trent Sherfield wasn't the only guy. But it's not just the speed. It's the veteran, being a veteran, being able to do special teams, and being able to play receiver. So those 3 attributes are better than – but you have that in Sanu. You have that in Sanu for the guys. And then you have Hurd, who we're not sure if he's going to be ready, truly ready week 1 or not, right? Because, obviously he has to get up to game speed. He played in 1 preseason game. What did he get, 24 snaps? And I think it was 24 snaps. So, yeah, I don't know.
I was just asking that question because there's a lot of people who are upset that Jalen Hurd made the roster. I was always the type that I haven't seen anything from Mohamed Sanu, right? When you look at the 3 people that we cut, in my opinion, none of them did anything as a wide receiver to knock those other guys off the roster. Now, if you include return abilities, I think Webster earned his spot over both of those guys, if you include return abilities. Okay? Now, if the team said that one aspect is not more valuable than the potential of what these other 2 guys can do, then I'm not mad at them for sticking with those 2 guys. And that was my only point with this whole thing.
Yeah, and I'm not mad at him for – the wide receiver depth is not deep. And if you have to take the chance on Hurd, you've already invested damn near 3 years in him. So, if you have to put him on the IR and let him get better and somebody else makes the team, fine. But if you think he's ready to go and you want to ease him back in, then he can be one of the inactives until then. And you see where that potential comes from. No matter who makes this team, I'm going to root for them no matter what. I'm not going to be against Jalen Hurd. I'm happy that he made the team. It's just the same as with me before, where players are constantly hurt and I'm just ready to move on. I've always been that way. And you can go back to our very first video and probably hear me somewhere along the line get rid of somebody because I'm tired of not being available. That's my biggest thing, because I need guys to be here that's going to help this team win right now. That's the only thing I care about. I care about the colors and the win and loss record and trying to win a Super Bowl. That's all I care about. I don't care who's under center. I don't care who's running the football. as long as they're successful, that's all I give a shit about.
Yeah, I think we're all on that page.
Either of y'all want to tell T-Man what Tony really felt about her?
T-Man wanted to get rid of her.
I will not speak for Tony. No comment.
Tony wanted to get rid of her.
Yes.
I didn't even realize. I don't even think Tony was like a huge supporter of her.
No, I don't. I have no idea where that came from. That comment. So, Ollie Bear, I was wondering about you. I was looking down the timeline, looking for the praying hands and stuff like that. I was really like wondering what happened to her, but I didn't even know you had a broken wrist, so I must have missed it. Happy to see you back. Thanks for the contribution. She says, "I'm back finally, healed up from my broken wrist."
Aloha,
aloha, and mahalo, Brian. This is you.
Absolutely.
Have you seen her Twitter before?
Mm-hmm.
A beacon of positivity.
Absolutely.
Always praying for people and things. I mean,
love it. Love it. She's been with us from the beginning.
Yeah.
She's a very sweet girl. What she calls the professors.
Professors.
Yeah. Calls me and you the professors.
That was, So, Ollie, you have been missed. It's good to see you back. I am sorry. I had no idea that you had broken your wrist, but I'm happy that you're all healed up and back in the fray. Right in time for 49er season. So you can start clapping those hands again and cheering nice and loud now that those wrists are working. So that's very, very good. Guys, let's keep it moving here. We got a couple of more positions to discuss here. We went offense, so let's flip it to the other side of the ball on the defense, and that leaves us with cornerbacks. I believe that's the only position left on the defensive side of the ball, right? So we have K'Wan Williams, Jason Verrett, Manuel Mosley, Devonta Harris, Ambry Thomas, and Diamador Lenore. The team decided they were going to keep 6 corners this year, and I have a problem with this. What the hell has Devonta Harris done to be on this roster? Somebody tell me something, please. I'm going to shut up right now. Please.
I've got nothing to say. I was just as flabbergasted as you are when I saw that his name wasn't on the cut list.
That's the thing, though. Like, we don't know what he's doing in camp.
Okay, that's cool. What number did he wear, Nick?
43, I think.
I'm just saying ant because I have no idea. But I bet you don't know either. That's my point.
I think it was 43.
Somebody make the team and we don't know what number he even wears.
You do know what number he wears because you're like, is that Marcel Harris? Because he had dreads? Remember? So you know what number he wore. You know who he is.
No, he just was not a standout as far as what we saw on game days or, at least from what we heard from practice. I didn't hear anything saying that he was a standout. So not that there was really, if you look at the cuts, I mean, who else are you going to keep? If you're going to go with 6, I mean, you could keep Johnson, but I mean, he hasn't really been a standout this season yet either. So, and he could end up on the practice squad for all we know.
He could.
So 4 hours ago, he tweeted, "I'm going," with the symbol.
Who did?
Devonta Harris.
Oh.
He tweeted, "I'm going." 5 hours ago, he tweeted the handshake emoji. Is there something that we don't know? Is he better than we like? What's his story? Somebody tell me about Devonta Harris. Tell me who this man is, where he came from. How long has he been a 49er? And by the way, if you guys don't follow him on Twitter,
he got released from Denver and went to the Ravens, and then the Ravens claimed him and then released him, and then we picked him up, I think.
Yes. His Twitter handle is WichKid, WICHKID. So make sure you guys go out there and follow the guy who made the 49ers initial 53-man roster. He's going to get my unwavering support from here on out. But I couldn't tell you if he's a slot guy. I couldn't tell you if he's an outside guy. Like, what do we know about him?
We claimed him 14 days ago. That's what we can tell you about him.
He's been on this team for 2 weeks, and he beat out the likes of Dante Johnson. And I'm saying the likes. I shouldn't have said that because
he wore 40.
He went 40 overall.
No, he wore 40.
40. Okay, 49. Yeah, please.
40.
Oh, this says 49. I'm sorry.
I just looked it up on 49ers.com. He was wearing number 40.
Matter of fact, I know he didn't wear 49 because that was haha. So I know he wasn't 49.
Yeah, haha, and
there was two.
But he wasn't even 43.
Elijah Mitchell.
So how does a guy like this, and no offense, Devontae, because I know you're going to see this, how does a guy like Harris make this roster over a guy like Dante Johnson, who has been in the system for multiple years and can play all three positions? What do the 49ers know that we don't know?
You got it. They know something we don't know. I mean, there's no way to answer that question.
Like, I don't know how to answer that. Like, I mean, the secondary coach must have seen something in him to where they like. And one, he's a veteran. Obviously, Dante Johnson is also. But we don't know what goes on behind preseason. Like, it's the same as the offense. Like, we all talk about, well, what has he done? And Trey Lance doesn't run the football and doesn't do this. Like, we don't know what they're doing at camp. So it's like he could be shining behind closed doors, and he just doesn't really get that opportunity, I guess you could say. But
you're absolutely right. You know, we had this big argument. I don't know if it was in here or if it was in the text group about this guy isn't going to make the team. And one side was because we haven't seen him do shit. The other side was it's not for us to see him do anything.
Right.
If the coaches see it in practice, they believe in that person.
Right.
Is this the prime example of that? Someone that none of us know about? Like, he had to really be going off in practices that even the beat writers haven't typed his name before.
Right. So he came into the league in 2000.
I looked it up. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Brian. What did you
came in the league in 2018 with the Bengals. And then
he played with the Bengals too.
And then in 19 he went to the Broncos, and then he was with Denver, and we got him. And this year he's got 0 interceptions. He played a full season with Denver, 16 games. 2020 he was with or 11 games in 2020, no interceptions. He's had 1 forced fumble, 2 forced fumbles total. And that's it. He's got the year he played a full season, he had 30 solo tackles and 5 assists.
How many PBUs?
None in his stats.
Yeah, he had to have some PBUs.
This guy's 5'11", 205 with 31-inch arms, and he runs a 4.43. Is he a slot guy? Harris was drafted by the Bengals in the 5th round. He was placed on IR September 3rd with a knee injury, activated off of IR December 5th, and then was waived during final roster cuts in 2019, which was the following year. He signed with the Broncos 2019 in September. He played all 16 games and started 6 of them, recording 35 tackles and 3 PBUs. Harris entered the 2020 season as the 4th cornerback on the Broncos depth chart. On November 17th, 2020, he was waived by the Broncos. On November 17th, the next day, he was claimed by the Ravens. After playing in Week 12 against Pittsburgh Steelers, he started the next week against the Cowboys, although he only played 15% of the defensive snaps during the game. So he started, but only played 15% of the snaps. What? In Week 14 against the Browns, Harris was put in the game following a rib and shoulder injury to Jimmy Smith before an ankle injury of his own late in the 4th quarter. So this guy gets hurt a lot. In December 2020, he was placed on IR, was designated to return from IR January 12th, and began practicing with the team again, but was never activated before the end of the Ravens postseason. He was waived January 18th and re-signed with the team February 18th. He was later waived August 16th, 2021, and then August 17th, he signed with the 49ers. All right, so the reason his Twitter handle is Witch Kid is because he is from Wichita, Kansas. Just want to make you guys, let everybody know it's not because he doesn't know how to spell witch. It's Wichita, W-I-C-H, Witch Kid. All right, so I'm going to tell you guys right now, he's going to be someone I'm cheering for. I'm going to start pulling for this kid because I don't know anything about him. I'm going to pull for good health, and I'm going to pull for him to make a name for himself.
And we should be because he's a 49er.
Yes, that too. Absolutely. But you guys know how I have a thing with guys at the bottom of the roster. The Dante Johnsons, the Kevin White.
You want the underdogs?
Yes. And this is going to be my new guy. I'm going to hype the shit out of this guy. I'm going to go back and start watching
the Quentin Pattons.
Yes. Yeah. I've been doing it for a while. Quentin Patton.
But he was from New Jersey, right?
No, Patton's not. Patton's not from New Jersey. Wait, hold on. Let me see.
No, Patton's definitely not from Jersey. He's a Southern boy.
Oh, is he? Well, I didn't know. I just figured that was Mike. Mike always supports everybody.
Wasn't he like Texas or something?
I feel like he was from like Alabama or Louisiana.
Or it's somewhere down there.
Tennessee.
Nashville, Tennessee. He had that accent. Like he had that weird.
That was just my dog, though, man. I miss QC, man.
Skipper.
But
so he's got to be an outside guy because there was when he was with Denver, they were talking about Harris Island with him and Chris Harris playing together. So they got to be both boundary guys.
Okay.
Oh, but we gotta hurry this up because I gotta get off.
All right. Well, there's no real surprise in the corner position. You can see the guys that we cut from that group here. Let me pull that up. Let's pop it up here. Alexander Myers. He had some up and down plays, but nothing consistent, right? Dante Johnson was really the only surprise for me. And then Tavarius Moore was placed on IR or PUP. So let me ask you guys this question, man. Of the players that made it, who are you most concerned with his future with the 49ers? Who needs to come up the most?
Ambry Thomas.
No hesitation there.
No hesitation at all.
You agree with that?
If Ambry Thomas wasn't drafted where he was, he wouldn't have made this team.
Talk your shit, Nick. Now that's what I'm talking about.
I'm not in disagreement. I was looking. Go put that back up there, please.
Sorry.
So what did you ask? Who are we concerned about?
Yeah, who are you most concerned with? They really got to step it up. I like Nick's answer and the way.
No, it's a good answer. I just didn't want to. Me too. Sort of.
Off it. Yeah, I got you.
For me, really, it's probably going to be Tart. He needs to figure out his foot shit and let's go. Because if not, Hufunga's going to take that job.
I meant corners. I'm sorry.
Oh, in the corners.
Just the 6 corners. Yeah.
Well, then I have to go with that.
I'm going to go with Emmanuel Mosley. I feel like he's got to step it up. Now, looking at the people behind him, he's safe. He is corner 2. Based off of the people behind him. Lenore is not ready yet, but he's right there. He is right there. And if
I still think Lenore could supplant him in a minute.
Yeah. Oh, that's what I meant by he's right there. Like, don't trip, bro. Don't stop to tie your shoe. Keep running. Otherwise, you're going to get past. Yeah, he's right there. So I agree with you there. Okay, let's keep it moving here. We were on the defensive side. We were talking about corners. Let's take it back to the offensive side. There's only one group left to talk about on the offense, guys, and that's the quarterback position. And believe it or not, this is the last group of the evening to discuss, guys. What's your biggest takeaway? With Sudfeld not making it, the Niners keeping 2 quarterbacks, and Jimmy Garoppolo's name is written in gold. He is the projected starter. Let's talk about it, man. We saved the best for last.
So, I was kind of surprised that they didn't keep 3 because that's Kyle's MO. And, when you got – if they're going to use them situationally or in a tandem as they were in game 3, you could put yourself in a situation where you might, may need to get that other guy ready. I don't know. Sudfeld could be up in the practice squad. Sudfeld could not be part of this organization. Or tomorrow when they move Hurst to the short term, we could get a quarterback back. We didn't even really talk about that option either. So it's just, to me, it's strange that Shanahan's only running with 2.
I agree with what you're saying there. Okay. Nick, do you remember my take on the quarterbacks at this point? Nick can corroborate what I'm about to say. I did have Nate Sudfeld making it, but I had an asterisk next to his name. And that was because I wasn't sure if it was going to be Nate Sudfeld, but I thought that we would go into the season with 3 quarterbacks. I thought that we would watch the waiver wires and see who was cut and sign a third veteran quarterback because Nate didn't show enough to earn a roster spot. But I still think we need a third quarterback here. So I'm not surprised that we didn't keep 3, but I thought we would keep Nate just until the final cuts, so it was a swap and not having to cut someone else. Does that make sense to you guys? Yeah, no, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I already know what you were talking about from before, so
yeah.
But you kind of knew that I really think that Nate Suffeld's going to the practice squad because just the amount of money that he got, it's equivalent to exactly what it would cost to be on the practice squad for the year.
Now he's going to get twice that.
Why?
Because his guaranteed money he's going to keep, and then his practice squad money is a separate salary.
The new contract, yeah. Yep.
Yeah, but his guarantee. What I'm talking about is his full. He only had $252,000 guaranteed,
and that's his money to keep. And when he becomes a practice squad member, he'll get the salary for being a practice squad member. It doesn't replace it. Like that's his money. That was his money from that contract. When we waived him away, that's his guaranteed money that he keeps. Has nothing to do with his practice squad contract if that happens.
Okay. Either way. I think he's going to go to the practice squad. I mean, it's until they can find something better. That's probably what they'll do. And I wouldn't even be surprised if they tried to cut Josh Rosen, to be honest with you, and hope that nobody picked him up to where they could have got rid of whatchamacallit and brought Rosen back to the practice squad. I wouldn't have been surprised at that either. But with Rosen making the 53 in Atlanta, that's pretty crazy. It's starter season over there in Atlanta. I'm just joking. No, I mean he has. I don't know. Like I've always had the quarterbacks going too. Two guys.
Yeah.
So
the practice squad, they get a weekly stipend.
Right.
Do they get paid for the
$6,000?
Do they get paid for the bye week also?
No. They get $6,000.
No, it's up. It's up in 2021.
So right now, the practice squad for
the
non-vets, what did you say?
9200.
Oh, you're talking about per week.
Yeah, per week. I'm talking weekly.
Yes.
Which equates to
$160,000. So they get $156,000, and they divide that by 18 games for the week, and that's what their week, whatever that amount is what they get every week.
Why is it 18 games?
18 weeks.
I think it's 17, bro.
It's 18 weeks.
What was the number you said?
Hold on.
Because listen to me, 92 times 17 is 156.4.
So 156.4 is what their annual or their yearly contract for the practice squad.
Right.
If you're going to start week 1.
So they don't get paid. They don't get paid for the bye week then.
And 238 for the vets.
Oh, okay. So do the vets get no? Because even that's weird. Because even if you make it by 18, the vets only get 165.60. So that means the vets have a whole different rate. All right, that's cool. But yeah, so it's not. Who cares? It's not a big deal. Nick, there's a comment in here for you. They need an answer for you desperately.
Yes, Cam is definitely Dookie.
He's
I just wish all of you guys would jump on that train finally and admit that I was right. Like everybody that joked on me about it.
Where's your trash can?
What?
Where's your trash can?
Somewhere.
Did you name it? Hold on. Nick has to eat crow on the show, guys. Hold on. It's crow serving time. Come on, Nick.
What, because Jameis Winston got named the starting quarterback?
Yes, sir. Who is the quarterback in New Orleans? Who is it?
Dookie-ass Jameis Winston.
And that means that Taysom Hill is diarrhea. He's loose Dookie because it's just coming out. It's gone. I told you that in a real competition that Jameis Winston was going to smoke him.
He didn't smoke him, though.
He did.
No, he didn't.
Absolutely did, bro. Jameis Winston looked terrible. Not Jameis Winston. What the hell? Taysom Hill looked terrible out there, and you know it. I told you that from the rip.
He didn't get smoked. The coach even said it was tight. It was a tight race.
Yeah, that's what he's supposed to say. To not discourage the other guy. That's exactly what he's supposed to say.
You know what? You know my thought process is on that. why Jameis Winston's starting, and I should have thought of this in the beginning.
Because he's better and the real quarterback.
No, because then they lose that type of offense where they can still bring Taysom Hill in as doing like he did with Drew Brees.
That's your logic behind it?
That's definitely my logic.
So that Taysom Hill can run the gimmick offense.
Yeah.
Nick, I want you to say one sentence for me and then I'll let it go.
Dookie.
Just one sentence for me. Jameis Winston is a better quarterback than Taysom Hill. That's it. Look at how much this hurts him. Look at how much this hurts him. He thought about it. He would not say it. It hurt him so much. Look at how much
until Jameis Winston doesn't throw 40 interceptions in a year.
He's never thrown 40 interceptions in a year. Never.
How many did he throw?
30.
30. Okay, 30 interceptions in a year.
The difference. He threw 31 touchdowns that year.
So he still threw 30 interceptions.
Can you say that Jameis Winston is a better quarterback than Taysom Hill?
No, I can't. Until I see Jameis Winston play this year, that he's better and hold on to the job there.
It doesn't matter that he beat him out already, huh?
No, it doesn't matter. That the competition is always ongoing, isn't it?
No. What the? No.
So you're telling me if you have a good backup quarterback and your quarterback starts playing like shit, they're not going to replace you?
That's not a competition, and that's just, hey, sit your ass down. There's a difference.
But you're still being evaluated.
No, Nick, we went from C.J. Beathard to Nick Mullins. Who's a better quarterback?
C.J. Beathard.
Exactly. Yet we benched him to put Nick Mullins in. Doesn't mean that you're better. It just means that what that other person was doing was so bad, we think you need a break. Go sit down.
Right. He was having an off day. You need to.
Yes. That's all that means, bro.
Needs a break.
Well, let's see if Jameis Winston doesn't have any off days.
Hey, all right. I'll make you another bet. Excluding injury or suspension, Jameis Winston will never lose the starting job to Taysom Hill this year.
No, I'm not doing it.
You didn't want to.
Yeah, you know what's so funny though? You know what's so funny? You're like sitting here defending 31 and 30, right? 31 touchdowns, 30 interceptions. But people get on Jimmy Garoppolo for throwing 12 interceptions a year.
I don't do that. I never got on Jimmy.
No, I said people. Yes. I said people.
But you're bunching me in with
what do you mean, people?
the same people he keeps calling Dookie. Don't think I don't notice a trend here. Listen, I'm not one of those people though. I've never complained about Jimmy's touchdown to interception ratio.
I'm just gonna put it this way: they're both Dookie.
Who?
Taysom and Jameis.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah, I thought you were going to talk about Jimmy. I was about to say, don't talk about my starting quarterback like that. I was about to go crazy on you. Okay, but listen, man. Listen, I don't care about the Saints. I just wanted to show you eat crow. You owned up to it. That's cool. So that's that. But guys, how is this person still allowed to type in our chat?
Get the hell out of here. You're crazy, bro.
He's about to get blocked.
You are crazy. I've never kicked anybody out of this show, but I'm about to. Just joking, T-Man.
You might be onto something, though. Hold on.
No, Winston is not.
Wait. Just hear me out. You don't think that Jameis Winston in this system would do better than Jimmy in this system?
No.
The deep ball?
No.
Intermediate passes?
Definitely not intermediate passes.
Presence?
Definitely not intermediate passes.
I don't know, Nick.
Bro.
I don't know, Nick. T-Man on bath salts. You know what's crazy about bath salt? I don't even know how people consume it. Do you eat it? Do you snort it? Like what? How do people take in?
I don't know. The only time I ever heard about it was when that guy in Florida tried to eat the other dude.
Yeah. And then the one guy tried to eat through the windshield. Remember that? All right. Anyway, guys, that's our final 53-man roster. We thank you all for rocking out with us. We brought you guys over 2 hours.
That's not our final 53. That's the 49ers final 53.
Right. No, but I'm saying
it's ours. I know what you're saying.
We all represent the Niners, man. You know, other than Wayne, everybody had on gray shirts. Everybody had on the hat today. Like we were here to bring the heat, man. We were in uniform. We were all showing love to that Niners team that we all pledge our allegiance to, and that's why I say we. There is a we when you cover this team, as long as you don't get paid to do it. And so that's why I have no problem saying we. This is something that we do for fun. This is something that we do because we care and we're passionate about it. And so our 49ers 53-man roster has been set. This is the first one. And so here's my last question to you guys before we get out of here. When does the first change to the 53-man roster happen?
Tomorrow.
Did you both say tomorrow?
Yeah.
I hate you guys. I think it stands for 2 days. I think it stands for 2 days. Yeah.
No, because Hurst is going to get put on the short term right off the bat, I think.
Yeah, it already happened. We just don't know it yet.
I think that was the thought process of some of the decisions they made.
Yeah. All right, we'll see what happens, man. I'm going to say that it lasts for 2 days, but Hurst is definitely not going to be here. So I agree with what you're saying. It's inevitable. It will happen soon. And we will try to keep you guys abreast of all the new information concerning your favorite team and their roster and all the news around them. So thank you all for checking us out tonight. Guys, let's do some final thoughts, and then let's go home. We'll start with Brian since Nick is yawning. Let's go.
Same as always, same old thing. Be good to each other, respect each other's opinions, and having different thought process is a great thing because then you can expand your own mind. So, be good to each other. We love you. Mahalo.
All right, Nick, I said abreast. That's a word. Like the A goes in front. It's a whole different word. All right, Nick, what you got for us, man?
Oh my God. Guys, the 53-man is set. Obviously, the initial. I'm not going to say set because it's going to change here and there. But, guys, this means football is right around the corner. Like, literally right around the corner. So, 2 weeks. You got 2 practices this week. Labor Day weekend, so enjoy that because it's your last weekend. Yeah, definitely. It's your last weekend before most of your kids, if you're in the Northeast, going back to school, things like that. Enjoy your family. Enjoy those little times. And prayers up for Coach Johnny Holland, battling cancer that has came back. So also, I don't know if we announced or not, but the offensive line coach that came over, Orlando, can't remember his last name. He left 104.3 and came over to coach with the 49ers.
A 49ers coach?
Yeah, he's an offensive line guy. Orlando.
I remember reading that. He did come off a radio show or something.
Yeah, he came off 104.3.
Give me a second. Hold on. I'm pulling it up now. Orlando. He says Orlando. All right. Nick Ray, Turner, Bobby.
Orlando Franklin.
That was an offensive lineman.
Yeah. He's coming over to coach on the staff.
Hey, wait, he's coaching here now?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He was an offensive lineman for the Niners years ago.
Yeah. I couldn't remember his name. I said the old offensive lineman.
Get the hell out of here.
Yeah, Big O. Yeah, so he's coming over to coach with the team. I don't know if you guys talked.
Holy shit. Franklin hosted a sports talk program, Sports Radio 104.3 The Fan in Denver on August 30th, 2021. It was announced Orlando Franklin would move to a coaching assignment with the San Francisco 49ers, work closely with running backs coach Bobby Turner. Holy shit. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Shabba.
So
Jamaican offensive lineman. Oh, that is incredible. I'm sorry. Go ahead. You just broke news to me. I had no idea. But go ahead. I'll shut up. Go ahead.
Yeah, so but like I was saying, prayers up for Johnny Holland and just get better, man. I know you've been through hell, but prayers up for him, his family. Everybody say a prayer for him, and above all else, stay faithful.
Yeah. I've been trying to find my contact information for Jordan Holland. I don't know if you guys remember. We interviewed Johnny Holland's son on this show. It was a very long interview, and the kid had a very interesting story. And so we had him on and let him talk about it. He was with the team as a undrafted free agent, right? Undrafted free agent. And I've been trying to find my contact information for him, Nick. If you find it, please send it to me because I wanted to reach out to him.
I have it.
And send our regards. I know I got a new phone since the last time we had him on. And we were following each other on Instagram, but I can't even find him there anymore.
I'll send it to you.
Okay. So we'll reach out to him just to let him know that we love and support him and his family. And our prayers are up for Coach. We're all going to be behind him. Fuck cancer. I have no problem saying it. I don't care about, the YouTube restrictions and all that stuff. So if you guys believe in prayer, put some positive words up to your maker and send some good vibes over there. If you don't believe in prayer, whatever positive energy that you do believe in, send it out there. And shout out to the Niners. And last but certainly not least for me, let's go, Jalen Hurd, making the 53 for the first time, baby. That's what we do.
Yo, you know what's funny, Mike, before we get out of here? I'm listening to podcasts the other day, right? And all of a sudden I hear you talking. You're like, hey, what's up, faithful? This is 49ers Gab. Also with Nothing But Niners. It comes up in my feed. It was your exit from 49ers Gab saying that you were we were joining forces at Nothing But Niners, and you were coming over here and to follow you over here. And but the thing that caught me is something that you haven't said in a long ass time, and that's faithful unite. Yes,
that's what I said in the beginning.
Yeah.
Faithful unite, yeah.
But that came on, I was like, why the hell is that coming in my feed? Like,
so it was an actual podcast?
No, it was the last one that you posted on 49ers Gab, I guess. Oh, and it was just in my thing. So as I was going down, it just must have played it. And it was just like, what's up, faithful? This is Mike, also known as 49ers Gab. This is just to let you guys know that this will be that we will no longer be broadcasting from the 49ers Gab podcast platform. If you want to follow me, check me out. I'm now with Nothing But Niners, heading over there, blah, 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 whatever. Come check me out. And then you're like, so I repeat, this is the last episode or last whatever for 49ers Gab. And just remember, faithful, unite, something like that.
Yeah. Holy smokes. I'm going to go back and listen to that. I'm looking now. I see overdue announcement. I don't know if that's
what it is. The overdue announcement.
Yeah, that's the last one that's posted. I'm going to go check that out, man. That's funny as hell. All right. So, yeah, that's going to do it for us, though, guys, man. Thank you all for your patience. You guys have been incredible. Shout out to everybody out there, all the contributions and donations made tonight. We thank you guys for all of that. We're going to get out of here. That was our final thoughts. You guys ready to go home?
I'm ready to go to bed. I got an hour and a half till I got to get up.
All right. Prepare for glory.
Anticipate pain.
But always remain faithful. We out of here.
Aloha.
Peace.
Let's go, baby. We done.
This is Charles Haley. You're listening to Nothing But Niners.
We all gas, no brakes, pumped up, no fakes. We spinning, we winning, we high stakes. We never miss, we all makes. Look at us dudes trying to prove, bringing you news with nothing to lose. Mike, Nick, Tony, Wayne, Method Man, we bring the pain. Hey, see, I'ma confess it. We under the pressure. If you looking to find us, we them nothing but Niners.